Yep.
Am I in your way?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I'm going to just work on this area. You want me to share? You want to get in there? I want a chair. Take it. I'm just going to sit out.
No, I didn't.
What do you mean, they don't tell us stuff?
What'd you say?
What do you mean they don't tell us stuff?
I'm way down on stuff.
Right here.
Well. Yes, yes!
Hey V, can you do me a favor and check out the live stream? I got the scoreboard in the corner, and it looks good on the camera, it looks good on the computer, but when I pulled it up on my phone, it looks really out of focus. I just want to see if it's just my phone. I'm assuming it is, but... You have to go to Leechburg Athletics. There's a but there. The scoreboard or the field? Okay. Stay on the phone. Let me try. How about that? Oh, well, yeah, you got to give it 30 seconds. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's only 10 seconds. Is that better? It's not. Maybe the platform's moving. Because it looks good.
Football Friday night on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Venue has changed. The teams remain the same as Eastern Conference play in Class 1A gets underway tonight. The Leechburg Blues host Clairton Bears. Good evening and welcome to 2021 WPIAL High School football coverage here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network alongside Alex Lyons, Matt Vandriak with you here tonight. Usually when Clairton and Leechburg meet, and it's the third week of the season, and you see the one team is 3-0 and the other team's 0-2, you usually think that it's the Bears who are 3 in the win column and the Blue Devils who have the goose egg under the W, but fortunes have flipped here in 2021. Leechburg off to their first 3-0 start in 21 years, looking for their first playoff berth in 31 years. Alex, is a Leechburg team that last year would have made the postseason had the original playoff format been held to. Of course, with the COVID restrictions, the playoff field was reduced and Leechburg did not make the playoffs. But the Blue Devils off to a great start here in 2021. 3-0, the highest scoring team in the WPIAL, averaging 54 points per game. They host a team that was picked by many as the preseason favorites in the Eastern Conference and in Class 1A, the Clairton Bears here tonight.
Mike!
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy who needs to get in and put his camera up.
You look at that Clairton offense last year, the majority of that offense came through man on the ground.
They're coming.
Yards rushing, 27 touchdowns for Sanders.
That way.
He's going to become a replacement phase. Who's going to step up? He's going to be that new skill guy. He's going to be that new Tyler Ford, that new Vermont way, the go-to guy here at Clairton. And I think as this game progresses, I think they make one of those guys from the season.
It's like when we walk on the platform
They go
stuff.
for that roll wide out, led the team in receiving last year.
It's not blowing though, it's just shaking.
What I've read, he may be back tonight. I'm not completely sure.
So y'all, let's go. Clairton! Let's go!
Go. That would be a big ad.
Clairton comes in 0-2 in the season, but they lost to 2 opponents, losing 14-12 to Steel Valley at Neil Brown Stadium in Week 1. They lost last week at Washington 43-19. Of course, the Little Prexies, the second-ranked team in Class 2A. The last time the Bears were 0-2 was 2019. That season, Clairton will go on to win 11 straight games in the WPIAL Class 1A Championship. Clairton comes in averaging 15.5 points per game, allowing 28.5 points against. We get ready to put these teams out here on the field, and looks like Brooklyn Cannon will be out there tonight.
Yeah, but I did notice one man in street closes the guy who thought was the running back by committee. That is Greg Lee. It was supposed to be a Christian Wade, and Greg Lee would try to take over that backfield. Greg Lee is in a jersey and street close. During Norms, we did see a Norman wideout and Cameron Lewis taking some snaps back at the running back position. So it's something to look at. Offensive spark going while trying to slow down this Leechburg running attack. You talked about it's a high-octane offense. Well, it's a great rushing offense with Lovelace in the backfield. But also you have a quarterback in Burke who can really throw the deep ball. When he was thrust into action last year, coach said, you know, we weren't necessarily sure what we had completely with him, but we knew he could throw the ball down the field very efficiently. So you have a high-octane running back with a deep, direct quarterback. And that's a recipe for a high-scoring offense, which we've seen all year from Leechburg as they play game number 2 on the turf here tonight.
Yeah, the brand new turf this season here at Veterans Memorial Field, the upgrades here, and not only is the playing surface better, but the aura around this team this year better as well. Unfortunately, the venue moved from Neil Brown Stadium here to Veterans Memorial Field tonight due to safety concerns and other issues. If you want to know more about that, you can read that on your own. We're going to call a football game tonight. So no fans, no cheerleaders, no bands, kind of like last season. It's going to be football players and officials and coaches, and those of us lucky enough to call the action.
Good evening, fans, and welcome to tonight's
the only seat in the house.
Friday night football matchup between the Clairton Bears and your home team, the Leechburg Blue Devils. I'm going to give you a quick starting lineup for the defense for Leechburg. Number 85 will be defensive end Eli Rich. Nose guard will be number 51 Tino DeCapiti. Defensive end will be number 62 Jacob Rinke. Inside linebacker number 21 Braylon Lovelace. Inside linebacker number 10 Jaden Floyd. Outside linebacker number 34 Brandon Gilmer. Outside linebacker number 26 Eric Leary. Cornerback number 81 Tyler Foley. Safety number 5 Logan Klein. Safety number 29 Tyler Villa. And cornerback number 13 Thomas Burke III.
12 receptions, he has 147 yards. And 3 touchdowns to go with it. And then there's Eli Rich. He's put up 261 yards in total offense and has scored 5 touchdowns as well. Clairton, they're led by quarterback Capone Jones. He's passed for 3 touchdowns so far for the Bears. Warren Short has 3 TDs. Cameron Lewis 2. Leads the Clairton in scoring so far this season. Talking about Leechburg, 3-0 for the first time in 21 years. The last time the Blue Devils were 4-0 was 1981. Leechburg also hasn't made the playoffs since 1988. That's the longest drought in the WPIAL. Opposite ends of the spectrum last week for these two teams. Alex, Clairton falling 43-19 at Washington. Cameron Lewis, he was a bright spot for the Bears. He scored twice on kick returns of 90 and 92 yards. However, the Little Prexies rushed for 333 yards and held the Bears just 83 yards on the ground. On the other side of the ball, Leechburg, very impressive. 50-20 winners over
Leechburg has won the toss, elected to receive. Can we have both teams return to the sideline, please, for a brief moment while we honor the national anthem?
Eli Rich contributing 3 touchdowns in the win. Blue Devils putting up 447 yards in total offense. Burke and Lovelace also each had interception returns for scores.
Please remove your hats and let's hear a playing of the national anthem.
Our national anthem from Veterans Memorial Field in Leechburg.
Thank you very much.
Memorial Field getting ready to kick off this.
Good luck, Clinton. Good luck, Blue Devils.
Clairton Bears and the Leechburg Blue Devils. Looking at the Eastern Conference tonight, things getting underway across the board. Alex, we already have one game that's been decided. Imani Christian only had 12 healthy players tonight, so unable to participate. So Greensburg Central Catholic will get the forfeit win because unlike the non-conference games where the result didn't count if a team had to forfeit due to COVID or whatever, in conference games, the forfeit loss will count. So Imani Christian 0-1, Greensburg Central Catholic 1-0. Centurions are still trying to find a game possibly for tomorrow, but focus on what we have here. We have Clairton, we have Leechburg on a perfect September Friday night here in Armstrong County. The Bears will be the visitors. They're decked out in the orange jerseys with the black pants and orange trim. They'll kick off to start this one right to left, left to right. The Blue Devils will return it, decked out in the home blue jerseys with the blue pants.
Chloe and Lovelace are deep for the Devils.
79 degrees, mostly sunny here. We'll keep temperatures in the mid to lower 70s throughout the evening here tonight and anticipate this out. You talked about the history between these teams. It's been pretty well.
Christian Wade will be kicking off for Clairton.
Get this one underway. Clairton lines up to kick it off. Wade will handle the kicking duties. Steps into it, and right foot's a squibbing kick, and to be taken at the 34-yard line by one of the up men. That's Brandon
Gilmer on the return for the Devils.
40, and gets stacked up by the Bears there. Tackle made by
Zachary Vickless on a stop for Clairton.
And Leechburg to the offense for the first time tonight, but as we're touching on it, the series between Clairton and Leechburg heavily tilted towards the orange and black.
26-0-1 all time. The Clairton Bears on top of Leechburg since 2014. 3 shutouts and a 339-41 outscoring margin of the Blue Devils.
And the Blue Devils on the offense, spreading it out with 4 wide. Burke out of the shotgun. He'll give to Lovelace. He's going to try the left side on first down. Gets back to the line.
Lovelace on the carry for the Devils.
Kanye Hawkins leading the charge for Clairton.
Kier Dixon on a stop for Clairton.
No gain on the play, bring up second down and 10. Blue Devils talked about how impressive their offense has been this season. And the main cog of that has been junior running back Braylon Lovelace. Shotgun set again. Thomas Burke out of the gun. Lovelace joins him to the right. Receiver motioning from left to right is Jaden Floyd. 2 now to each side from the receiver side. Burke takes the shotgun snap. Pressure coming. Steps up, fires deep, looking for Eli Rich.
Pass is complete to Eli Rich for the Devils. First down.
That's a situation there where Thomas Burke saw Eli Rich in stride. He has the size out and just goes up and gets it.
6'5", going up over the man is the minute receiver at just 5'6". A huge mismatch there, and the big tight end goes in for the first huge play of the game.
Big gain there. 28 down to the Clairton 32-yard line. 2 backs this time. Burke out of the shotgun. Lovelace gets the call up the middle. Sheds a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Pushes inside the 30.
Lovelace on the carry for the Devils.
To the 30, sorry, to the 28-yard line. Tyrese
First hit by number 2, Greg Lee. Pickup of 3, second down and 7 for Leechburg.
Going against a tough Clairton defense, and mentioned Clairton losing to Steel Valley in Washington, while Leechburg has had their way. 3 foes they faced so far this season. Jefferson Morgan, Summit Academy, and then Brentwood here last week. 2nd and 7 from the Bears 28. Out of the shotgun. Rich shifts from left to right. Too many pieces moving. And the Blue Devils will be flagged for a 5-yard penalty here.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty on Clairton. 2nd down and 2 for Leechburg.
So that'll give the Blue Devils the free 5 and make it a 2nd and short. Now 2nd and 2 for Leechburg at the Clairton 23-yard line. Thomas Burke under center. Lovelace the single back. Rich lines up a tight end on the right. Line to the right as a receiver as well. 2 receivers that is lined up to the left side. And Floyd and Foley. And we got a timeout taken here by
We got a timeout, Devils.
Blue Devils seemed a bit out of sorts in it. Alex, you showed the camera shot earlier of the
Our refereeing crew tonight is referee Tom Trilly, umpire Mark Weiss, head linesman Dave King, line judge Jacob Hartman, field judge Dave Ralph, and side judge Travis Snyder. We'll grade them at the end of the game.
As you mentioned, reminiscent of last year. I mean, at least I did personally. I saw this all the time last year, fans finding spots with a clear view through a fence trying to watch a game. And it's the same scenario here from Leechburg.
Blue Devils take the timeout. 9:36 left here in the opening quarter. 2nd and 2 for Leechburg. Ball at the Clairton 23-yard line. First drive of the game. Blue Devils hooking it up. A 28-yard pass from Thomas Burke to Eli Rich. His drive in motion. Burke to throw, has time, steps up, fires, looking for the corner of the end zone. Has it.
That pass is a touchdown for Leechburg Blue Devils.
Shoulder on the right corner of the end zone. And the Blue Devils take the first drive of the game, 65 yards to the house. 6-0 Leechburg.
Thomas Burke the third to Logan Klein for the Devils touchdown.
Point after try here for Leechburg. Looks like the Blue Devils might go for two. Going to set it up here. And the Blue Devils do line up for the two-point conversion try.
Lovelace on for the extra point attempt.
Out of the hold of Thomas Burke, so the offense does do everything. Lovelace going to call the fake. Burke to throw, fires, has it.
That two-point conversion is complete from Thomas Burke to number 81, Tyler Foley. Leechburg 8, Clairton 0.
On the first drive of the game, points on the board. 65-yard scoring drive out to an 8-0 lead. 23-yard touchdown pass from Burke to Klein, and then Burke hits Foley for the two.
Yeah, that was a beautifully designed fake. His Foley just popped down a little soft spot, found the opening, nobody around him, and it was an easy toss by Burke to get it to his man for the easy two-point conversion, taking 8-0 lead. You know, we've seen already in games this year for Clairton, extra points and two-point conversions have not been a thing of strength for the Bears, so that is a big two-point conversion early on for Leechburg.
Yes, well, Clairton has had major success in football. One area that has not been, the Bears are not known for, is their kicking game. I don't ever recall a strong kicking game happening at Clairton as long as I've been around.
Askew and Cannon deep for Clairton. Lovelace ready to kick for Leechburg.
He lines it up. And squibs this one towards the middle of the field. Ball taken at the...
This is Lawrence Short on the return.
Short gets across the 40 and spins out to midfield before being wrapped up by a couple of Blue Devils there. Stop made by Brady Rollinger.
That stop was made by number 26, Eric Learn.
And here come the Bears. They'll have good field position to get this game started. 1st and 10 at midfield. See how this Clairton offense functions here. You mentioned the return tonight of Brooklyn Cannon. They're going to come out 5 wide receivers here. Capone Jones out of the shotgun. Cameron Lewis the single back. 3 receivers to the left. 2 over to the right side. Jones, inside handoff. Lewis gets the call, sheds the first tackler.
And off with number 14, Cameron Lewis.
Boyd makes the tackle. After a gain of 2 as the Bears move into Blue Devils territory.
Jacob Rinke on a stop.
Clairton tries the offense for the first time this evening. And out of the shotgun. Capone Jones. 3 receivers stacked to the left this time. Jones to throw. For some pressure, steps up, hit as he throws, and that pass falls incomplete as Eli.
Pass is incomplete.
And got to Jones just as he released it, looking for
pressure by Rich.
Side of the field.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 8
gets a hold of
for Clairton.
He goes to throw it.
Leechburg doesn't give him any time. He plays like that all evening here from Veteran Memorial Stadium.
3rd and 8 now for the Bears from the Leechburg 48-yard line. Same set, 4 receivers, 3 to the left, single wide to the right. Jones out of the shotgun. Lewis behind him. Jones to throw. Leechburg only rushes 3. Jones steps up, hit as he throws again by Rich. Ball floated up in the midfield, tipped and caught. It's Cannon off the deflection. Cuts inside the 5.
And it is a touchdown, Clairton on a deflected ball.
Brooklyn Cannon making his presence felt with the tip catch and the 48-yard TD reception. The Bears on the board. Clairton's the city of prayer, and one was answered right there.
What a play by Brooklyn Cannon. I'll get it right eventually here. But keeping his awareness. Tip ball there, could have easily kind of said, oh, I have no chance of this. Waits on it, grabs it down, and takes it in for 6. Great heads-up play. A huge touchdown answer back on 3rd down and long.
And again, Eli Rich into the backfield there, Alex. He hit Capone Jones as he released that ball, which let that floater go up. And there were 3 players there, 2 Blue Devils and 1 Bear, all of them lining up almost to play center field. The ball tipped and ends up in the man behind them hands. And that's Brooklyn Cannon to the house. Out of the shotgun for 2, Jones gives to Lewis, and that play is red.
Hand off is to number 14, Cameron Lewis.
Makes the stop to deny the 2-point
And he's
conversion.
stopped immediately by Lovelace.
Though, back and forth we've gone. 2 possessions for each team.
Devils 8, Clairton 6.
Here in the opening quarter. It's Leechburg 8 and Clairton 6. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching WPIAL High School Football 2021, and you've got the best seat in the house on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. So I'm going to move this crowd mic over to the other side because I'm picking up way too much of that.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. No, stick some fence here somewhere like on that side. You're getting that PA announcement right in that thing. Yeah, anywhere over there, perfect. Just so it's a little bit away, the speaker's just in my ear. Back here at Veterans Memorial Field, Leechburg leading Clairton 8-6 with 8:35 left in the opening.
Christian Wade teeing it up for Clairton.
Alex Lyons with you here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. You've got the best seat in the house.
Foley and Lovelace deep for the Devils.
Score in a minute as
this will be Tyler Foley from the 9.
To the 9-yard line. And Foley makes the catch, gets across the 20, and then gets spun down on a good special teams tackle by Cameron Lewis.
Foley stopped by number 14, Cameron Lewis.
65 yards on the first drive of the game. A 28-yard pass from Thomas Burke to Eli Rich set up the score. Then Clairton answers with a little bit of luck on their side coming back.
Yeah, 47 yards, the official length of that one, as Brooklyn Cannon is the beneficiary of a tip pass. Normally a tip pass leads to an interception, and the way Leechburg and players surprised that wasn't the case, but instead results in 6 for Clairton. We're down by 2, still 8-6 here in the first.
Blue Devils start 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line. Mentioned that pass play from Burke to Eli Rich set up a 23-yard touchdown pass from Burke to Logan Klein. Pressure by the Bears, and Burke is going
Burke is sacked for a loss.
Into the backfield for Clairton, Kanye Hawkins.
Hawkins says the ball came out there as coming up from the pow with it was Meade of Clairton, but I think they're going to say he was down by contact first.
Clairton getting the rush there, and it's Kanye Hawkins getting the sack. And Keith Meade, he takes up a lot of space as Meade hustles off the field here. Loss of 7 on the play. 2nd and 17 for the Blue Devils back at their own 15-yard line. Out of the shotgun, handoff coming to Lovelace. Lovelace going to try to stretch the field to the left, and he's brought down again.
Lovelace tripped up at the line of scrimmage by number 14, Cameron Lewis.
Lewis made the stop on special teams, and then, like Lil John said back in 2003, got low to cut down Lovelace for a loss.
And Lovelace has had absolutely no room to run so far in this game, and looks like that's a game plan the Clairton Bears had coming in to not allow Lovelace to break free for any big plays.
All the way back now to the 12-yard line, so 3rd and 20 coming up for the Blue Devils as the Bears defense showing some snarl here on this second Blue Devils possession of the evening. Burke out of the shotgun, 4 receivers, 2 to each side. Burke looking to the right, feels pressure, going to step up, firing across the middle, has a man catch made across the
That pass is complete from Thomas Burke.
It's Logan Klein, tackle made by Clairton's Keelan Holly, but on 3rd and 20, we'll see where
that was Logan Klein on a reception, and that'll be a Devils first down.
Felt the pressure, stepped up in the pocket, and put it right in the numbers, leading receiver Klein. Klein was able to just get to the there for the first down.
He picks up the 20 needed. Lovelace gets the call up the middle. He'll roll forward.
And off to Lovelace.
Christian Wade in on the tackle, as well as Keith Mead. So Leechburg, Alex, doing a nice job through the air. The ground game hasn't really got going.
Looked like Christian Wade in on the stop for Clairton.
For the Blue Devils from their own 33-yard line. And here we go. Looking to the sideline here is Thomas Burke. Out of the gun. 3 receivers to the right, single wide to the left. Burke looking to come to the right. Pressure comes, sets the screen up, and overshoots his target. Looking for Jaden.
Pass is intended to Jaden Floyd, incomplete.
Bringing the heat again. It's Kanye Hawkins into the backfield.
Yeah, and Hawkins, a big boy coming through that offensive line.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 for the Devils.
Hawkins doesn't get in there so quickly. Burke, a lot of time he says, "We put that way in our numbers," but Hawkins forcing him to hurry up and forcing the air and pass.
3rd and 8. Timeout on the
We got a Clairton timeout.
6:12 left here in the opening quarter. 8-6 Leechburg on top. So Alex, in 10 conferences throughout the WPIAL.
How's it going over there in right field?
After
Okay, everybody's here tonight. Good to see you.
and we've had
Anything good to eat over there?
some really good non.
Probably better something to drink.
Now jumping into conference play, of course, in 1A this year, 3 conferences, 15 teams make the playoffs. So Leechburg needs to finish in the top 5.
If Adam's over there, I know what's going on.
Playoff drought. And Clairton, of course, was the preseason favorite by the Trib Live High School Sports Network to win this conference. So the Bears making their conference debut as well. And no shame for Clairton losing the teams they lost to. Again, Steel Valley and Washington a combined 5-0 so far this season. And the Bears and Leechburg hooking it up here in a series that the Bears have dominated.
Yeah, and I think this is 2 of the top teams looking at this Eastern Conference this year. Throw GCC's name around. I think this is the 3 this season that we're going to be competing for that crown. When you get that matchup early on in the conference season, so much more meaningful.
Interception by Clairton.
Ball's deflected and picked off by number 14.
Try a toss behind the line of scrimmage and then a further pass play.
Cameron Lewis.
Ball goes off the hands of the intended target, Jaden Floyd, and Cameron Lewis right there with the pick off the tip. So Clairton getting 2 tip balls in their favor, 1 for a TD, and now the Bears offense set up 1st and 10 at the Blue Devil 25.
The way this game is going, Coach Whitney might want to go buy a lottery ticket after this with the way the tip balls are going in the favor of the Clairton Bears.
Coach Wade, if you do buy a lottery ticket and happen to win, remember that time I cut you in on color commentary at McKeesport a couple years ago. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Bears back on the offense off our first turnover of the night. Capone Jones out of the shotgun. Lead back is Christian Wade. Deep back Lewis. 2 receivers to the right, single wide to the left. Jones going to call his own.
Quarterback keeper by number 3, Capone Jones.
Breaks the tackle to 5. Jones still on his feet to the end zone. Gets a push, and he's going to be stopped just short.
And he is stopped at about the 2-yard line.
Hutman strutting through the Leechburg defense for a gain of 24. 1st and goal for the Bears from the 1.
Capone Jones just did not want to go down, wrestling his way as close as he could to that goal line. And that's a huge play off of the interception. Now Clairton looking for pay dirt in their first lead of the game.
1st and goal from the 1 for the Bears. And you see Capone Jones, who's done it through the air this season. Alex, he has 3 touchdown passes. Trying to get that first one on the ground here. The Bears off that 24-yard run off the pick. Going to go for it. They're going to have it set up, 1st and goal at the 1. Jones out of the gun. Wade the lead back this time. Jones going to fake the toss.
This is Jones on the keeper.
Field, and Leechburg ready for it, and they're going to stop him for a loss.
Leechburg swarming there.
And he stopped right around the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1
Good job by the Blue Devils
for Clairton.
Forced him to try to stretch the field, and then Logan Klein stepping up from his safety spot to make that tackle. Second and goal now from the 1.5. Look all the way across the field behind where the old baseball field was. You see some old Clairton faithful. You see a Clairton flag over there on the fence to the right. So the Bears fans, handful of them traveling as well. 2nd and goal from the 1. Jones going to call his own number again. This time
quarterback keeper by Capone Jones, and he is in for the Clairton touchdown.
1-yard touchdown run. It only takes the Bears 3 plays, that is, to turn that interception into points. And with 4:37 left here in the opening quarter, the Bears have their first lead of the night. Jones from 1 puts Clairton up 12-8.
Yeah, Jones doing it through the air, now getting it on the ground, as he is really that go-to guy so far for this offense. And, you know, what doesn't work once, try again, or try 3 times. I guess it is if you're Capone Jones, and eventually is able to take it all 25 yards himself for the score. And Clairton, again, their first lead of the game.
No surprise here, the Bears will go for the 2. Jones out of the shotgun. He has Lewis in the backfield to his left, 2 receivers out to each side. Jones going to throw for it. Steps up, fires as a man breaking to the post.
Jones' pass is incomplete.
Looking for Brooklyn Cannon, so the Bears 0 for 2 on 2-point
But the
conversion.
score is now Clairton 12, Devils 8.
4:37 left here in the opening quarter. Clairton leads Leechburg 12-8. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching 2021 WPIAL High School football coverage. You've got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Know what you did over there? You got water there? Brought 3. Oh, you have one?
That was my turn. No.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep. Back here at Veterans Memorial Field, home of the Leechburg Blue Devils, but it's the visiting Clairton Bears who have struck on back-to-back possessions.
Foley and Lovelace deep for the Devils.
Leading Leechburg, that is, 12-8, 4:37 left here in the opening quarter. Matt Vandriak, Alex Lyons,
Christian Wade
High School Sports Network.
to do the kicking for Clairton.
When you play the Clairton Bears, you can't afford to make mistakes. Leechburg makes one interception off the tip by the Bears from the 25-yard line of Leechburg, and the Bears make it count 3 plays later with the score. Kickoff going to take a bounce.
This will be
20-yard line. Foley gets to the 31, and he's brought down there by Sincere Lennon. So to recap the
That
last
was
drive,
Foley on the return.
converting a 3rd and 20 on the very next play, try to go to the
Stop was made by number 1, Kevin George.
By Cameron Lewis, and then a 24-yard run by Capone Jones set it up. 2 runs later, Jones punched it in from a yard out.
They really have had no success on the ground with Lovelace.
Lovelace going to get the call here, and again has nowhere to go. The Bears ready for it, and they make the stop.
That is Lovelace hit for a loss in the backfield.
Teron Middlebrook, as well as guess who? Kanye Hawkins.
Teron Middlebrook, the first one in on the stop.
Kanye Hawkins' jersey would have a magnet on it. He's been all over tonight.
Kanye Hawkins has had no issue busting through that offensive line. He has been an issue from that interior, and Leechburg coming off the edge. Real small defensive end, but a lot of speed out there for Clairton.
Here comes the backside pressure, and down goes
Burke is sacked in the backfield.
Teron Middlebrook on the blitz, and the Clairton
Teron
defense
Middlebrook.
And
brings it again.
sometimes that's what you get now.
And number 54, Kanye Hawkins.
Very small. He's super athletic. That first step had no chance by the left tackle. Middlebrook pretty much untouched.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 21 for the Devils.
3rd and 21 for Leechburg, back to their 21. Trying to go hurry up, Burke to throw. Firing downfield, has a man, but too strong for the intended target, Logan Klein.
Pass is intended for number 5, Logan Klein, incomplete.
Short for Clairton on defense. And what I'm seeing here, Alex, is after the first drive where Leechburg kind of dictated the pace, this Clairton defensive line
4th and 21.
not giving Burke much time to set up at all.
Lovelace back to punt.
He was catching and they're giving him no.
Lewis deep for Clairton.
Might be really one of the few times all season thus far that Burke has seen pressure like this, at least consistent pressure play after play.
Lovelace to kick from his own 5. Cameron Lewis awaits the return for the Bears near midfield. Brooklyn Cannon in the area as well. Lovelace gets it. Slight rush and shanks this kick. Off the near sideline, off the side of his foot, and this is going to go out at the 21-yard line. So the Bears with golden
Punt is out of bounds at around the 20-yard line.
Drive again. Off the interception, the Bears head on Leechburg 25, and now 1st and 10 at the Leechburg 21.
To me, and that, I think where they're going to move it back to almost the 24, so that's about a net of 4 yards on that punt.
Spotting it at the 25, so not exactly flipping the field.
So at the 25, it'll be Clairton 1st and 10 from the 25.
At the Leechburg 25-yard line, here come the Bears. Offensive possession number 3. Out of the shotgun, Capone Jones. Lewis to his left, single wides to each side, tight end stack to the left. Leechburg 4 on the line, showing blitz for the Blue Devils. Jones going to hand off. Lewis up the middle, finds room. He gets down to the 22-yard line before getting pushed back.
Cameron Lewis
And
on the
Eli
run.
Rich making the tackle for the Blue Devils. As we see Cameron Lewis.
Eli Rich on the stop.
Earlier, Alex. Usually it would be great.
Second down and about 7 for Clairton.
The leading returning rusher after what they lost last year. But with Lee out tonight, Cameron Lewis shifting from receiver to running back with the returning Brooklyn Cannon taking a spot on the edge.
And we haven't seen Christian Wade, I think, carry the rock yet tonight either. He's also seen some reps at that running back position.
Wade's been used as the blocking back. Jones going to call his own number, trying to stretch the field, running out of real estate. And he's
Quarterback keeper by Capone Jones.
As Logan Klein.
And he's met by Logan Klein and company.
Seuss staying with the quarterback and stopping him for the loss.
And this would be huge if you are Leechburg. Find a way to give no positive plays to this Clairton.
That'll bring up about a 3rd down and 8 for Clairton.
Keep them into a 4th down and very long here after the turnover.
3rd and 8 for the Bears. Ball at the 23-yard line of Leechburg. Jones out of the gun. Wade the single back this time to his right. 3 receivers left, single wide up top. Jones to throw. Has some time. Steps up, fires, looking for Cannon. And that toss is too strong.
Pass is intended for number 6.
Flag in the backfield as well.
Brooklyn Cannon.
Leechburg's defense that time coming
Incomplete. There's a flag on a play.
And this could really change the whole dynamic depending where this is and can be against.
We got a holding on Clairton.
You imagine, even though it would make it 4th down, you almost think if you're Leechburg, you accept this penalty due to the fact you're going to push them back to 3rd down. They are going to decline it, but now it makes it kind of...
Penalty is declined. That'll bring up a 4th down and 8 for the Bears.
We're going to go for it either way. It's not a situation where Clairton's going to trot a field goal kicker out there for sure. And I think with the Bears offense as it's gone so far tonight, probably going to take the shot. So penalty decline, 4th and 8 coming up for the Bears. Ball at the Leechburg 24. Jones out of the gun, 3 receivers to the left. Ken the single wide to the right. Wade the single back to his quarterback's right. Looking to throw. Jones has time. Here's pressure now.
Capone Jones on a keeper.
Gets the sack.
And he is wrestled down by Eli Rich and number 51, Tino DeCapity.
And Eli Rich comes up with it.
Leechburg will take over 1st and 10.
Tino DeCapity helping out as well, but there we see the Leechburg defense mounting up when needed.
Yeah, that's huge. I guess really, honestly, 3 straight plays getting back into Clairton's quarterback, Capone Jones, and forcing some long passes and bringing him down eventually.
Here comes Lovelace on 1st down. He has
Lovelace on a carry.
Stops in the backfield for a loss as Brooklyn Cannon steps up and gets him. So the running game has been
stopped in the backfield by the Bears defense. That'll bring up a 2nd and 14 for the Devils.
Down to 60 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Leechburg trying to get something going on this offensive series. They scored in their first offensive series. The last 2 have been no bueno. Burke out of the gun. Sets it up, drops the screen off to Rich to the left side.
Pass is complete to Eli Rich, and he's down the Leechburg sideline for a 1st down to about the 47-yard line.
Cameron Lewis makes the stop, but that's the play that Leechburg wants to use there. Eli Rich, 6'5", 240, perfect.
Ran out of bounds by Kier Dixon.
Plenty of room at the sideline, moves the sticks. 1st down for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, he's Mr. Do-It-All for this Leechburg team. Sometimes they throw him in the backfield, let him run a few times, there's little screen passes, and one once you go to your tight end, and they'll run him on the flies, and you can do it all, and you can do it all very, very well, like you saw there.
28 gain on that screen pass. It's the Blue Devils of the Clairton 48. Burke to throw. Fires underneath inside.
Pass is complete to Logan Klein.
Tackle across the 30, and he's cut down at the 20.
And it is another Devil 1st down.
Logan Klein makes it happen, picks up 20, and another Leechburg 1st down inside the Clairton 30.
And what I've noticed about the quarterback, Burke,
The stop was made by number 3, Capone Jones.
very often he makes very aware of the pressure, steps up, gets his feet set, and puts those balls right in the breadbasket of his wide receivers and leading so they can go off and run.
1st and 10 from the 28. Blue Devils moving it here. Looks like they're going to be content to let this 1st quarter clock run out. 12 minutes of football in the books here.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter. Clairton Bears 12, Devils 8.
12, the Blue Devils 8. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching 2021 WPIAL high school football coverage. You've got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Back here at Veterans Memorial Field, home of the Leechburg Blue Devils. Second quarter getting underway. Clairton leading Leechburg 12-8 in this Class 1A Eastern Conference opener. Alongside Alex Lyons, Matt Vandriak with you here. 2K21 high school football coverage, giving you the best seat in the house tonight on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Alex, Leechburg scoring on their first offensive drive of the game. Then things went south for a bit, but now the Blue Devils on the move. Knock on the door, 1st and 10 at the Clairton 28 as we start quarter number 2.
Yeah, and I think it was a great idea by Leechburg. You made a quick, high-percentage pass play to start. You got a huge gain, and that lets you get back into your rhythm, back what made you successful on that first drive with those over-the-middle crossing routes, those deep routes, and that's what they were able to find around the Klein after that quick screen to it.
Bunch set over here to the left. Burke going to swing it underneath. Quick catch made by Jaden Floyd.
Pass is complete to Jaden Floyd.
Good tackle there by the Bears' T. Davenport. So they tried that bunch screen here to the left side, and nothing doing. The Bears ready for it. Gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8. Leechburg go and hurry up to keep this offensive pace moving. They had a tough time with the Clairton defensive line for the bulk of that first quarter. Work out of the gun, going to shift Rich. He's going to get the call. Rich lowers his shoulder and pulls his
Hand off to Eli Rich. Hit at the line of scrimmage.
Tackle made initially by the Bears. It's T. Davenport as well.
Stop was made by Sawyer Dudek. That'll bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Devils. We have a Leechburg timeout.
Timeout here for Leechburg. 11:14 left here in this opening half, and coming up at the half, it's the Trib HSSN halftime show, sponsored by SA Tire and Export Tire. This week, Don Rebel and Chris Harlan look at the new WPIAL football non-conference scheduling format. It's coming up for you at the half, and just talking about that, Alex, a great slate of non-conference games for the WPIAL this season. Of course, non-conference games canceled last year in the 2020 campaign due to COVID, but what would have been last season, had it been a normal season, the WPIAL went away from the computer-generated schedule, went to the manual schedule, and what a change it's been.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. You've seen marquee matchup after marquee matchup in those, in a sense, preseason non-conference games. They don't affect your postseason hopes, but, you know, there's those big tune-up exhibition games. You know, we've got to see 4A, 5A powerhouses, TJ and Gateway. Another 4A, 5A powerhouse that we got to see last week in Penn Trafford and Bell Vernon. I mean, you don't get to see those games necessarily with computer-generated ones, but the manual, we get so many good matchups early on with some good non-conference football.
Big chance here for Leechburg. 3rd and 8 from the 26 of the Bears. Out of the Blue Devils timeout. Down 12-8. Leechburg scored first. Clairton scored the last 2. One set up by an interception. The other off a tipped reception. Burke to throw. Has some time. Fires on the near sideline and broken up. Firing in a double coverage.
Pass intended for Tyler Foley is incomplete.
The backfield.
That'll bring up a 4th down and 8.
And Warren Short almost came away with the INT.
Yeah, it's a receiver turned cornerback in that situation. I think a misread by the quarterback Burke throwing into double coverage. Lucky for him, Clairton didn't come away with their 2nd turnover of the game.
4th and 8 from the Bears, 26. Blue Devils to go for it. Burke out of the gun. Has a little bit of time. Now going to be flushed, rolling to the right. Burke trying to find someone downfield. Has a man. Catch made inside the 10.
But pass is complete down to about the 9-yard line.
Tony Jones made a big hit on Logan Klein, who hangs on to the football, even though he paid the price.
Yeah, Logan Klein came down with that, took the worst of it, but, that's impressive.
That reception was held on to by Logan Klein.
As before that ball even got to him, Capone Jones had him lined up, and as soon as he caught it, he absolutely just leveled down to the turf.
Yeah, hit in the back, cut down backwards more or less, and hit the turf hard as well. Klein a bit shaken up, but he picks up 17 on the play. First and goal now for the Blue Devils. Out of the shotgun, Burke. Lovelace the deep back. Lovelace going to get the call, tries the middle of the field, and the Bears swallow it again.
And off to Lovelace, hit the backfield by number 8, Christian Wade.
Christian Wade, as well as T. Davenport. And I tell you what, it's been a one-dimensional.
Also in on the stop, Cameron Lewis.
All over the run game.
Yeah, nothing that Lovelace can do. He's going to have to break 6 tackles to gain a yard.
Second and goal from about the 14 for the Devils.
They're having their way at the offensive front for the Blue Devils.
Lovelace, third in the WPIAL coming in.
We have a Clairton Bear timeout with 10:27 remaining in a half.
The WPIAL with 10 touchdowns, but the Bears have really taken the running game away, and started to see on that second Leechburg offensive drive, Clairton able to focus on the pack, bring on the pass that is bring pressure, and not give Burke a lot of time. It seems now like Leechburg, by hurrying up, has made some adjustments to bring this passing attack back.
Yeah, and that's what it seems. Clairton wants to play that slow, kind of paced game versus Leechburg wants to speed it up. And I think normally, we said this coming in, Matt, that, you come into the game thinking, one team's 2-0 or 3-0, one team's 0-2. It'd be Clairton, the undefeated, Leechburg, the defeated. You'd say one team's really wanting to push the pace, go high-octane offense. You'd almost guarantee that'd be Clairton, but it's been that other way around. It's kind of been a true flip of the script of what you'd expect coming into this game, but right now it's working for Clairton. They're up 12-8, trying to hold Leechburg to at least a 4th down try, because from what I've seen in my prep work, that their normal kicker was Ryan Shaw on the roster. Not kidding that we obviously saw Lovelace do the kickoffs. He's done the fake extra points out there and the punts so far. So that seems like it's out of the realm of possibility now.
Burke to throw, inside pattern through the hands of Foley. And
Pass intended for number 81, Tyler Foley, incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd and goal for the 14.
You have to wonder after you see your teammate get absolutely leveled, and that being Klein is back on the far sideline now, you start to think a little bit, hey, do I have to be a little cautious, or is that going to be me in the next play?
So third and goal that is coming up for the Blue Devils at the Clairton 14-yard line. 10:23 left here in this opening half. Bears leading 12-8. Looks like Lovelace to the right of Burke. Lovelace stays in the west. Burke going high for Rich, and 2
Pass intended for Eli Rich is incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th and goal from the 14 for the Devils.
Had the size mismatch, but the throw from Burke too tall.
Yeah, Hawley did an excellent job, though. He stayed right there with the receiver, giving him no room, no separation. So even though he had the height mismatch and disadvantage, he played that about as perfectly as he could at the first down completion.
4th and goal from the 14. Blue Devils to go for it. Burke to throw. Backside pressure coming. Gets away from Wade. Going to try to pull it down. Burke going to throw. And it's picked off at the 1-yard line. And back with it comes Clairton. Across the 20.
Burke's pass is intercepted by number 7, Lawrence Short, and Clairton will take over. 1st and 10.
And Alex Short hesitated a bit. I think he thought that he was in the end zone and was going to get the whistle. Then decided to come out. And the return brought back to the 23-yard line. So it'll be a 23-yard return, but we'll see what the flags are. Likely a blocking infraction against the Bears on the return.
Yeah, Short, he's been all over the field defensively so far. Coming up, the interception. It was Leechburg last week with a trio of interceptions, 2 going back for a score. And now it's Clairton picking up their second of the game again. They're flipping the script, trying to flip the script on the season so far as Clairton, and they've done.
We had a blindside block against Clairton.
That first drive, and now this blindside block on the return that puts them back around their own goal.
It'll be 1st and 10 Clairton.
The Bears will start
from about the 3-yard line.
3 after the interception. So second Bears interception of the night. And here they come. I think Clairton's a little bit out of sorts here. He set it up. Jones in his own end zone. Lewis to his left. The receivers to the right side. That hard count almost got Leechburg to jump. Now Lewis will get the call up the middle. Lewis gets across the 5, fights across the 10.
And off to number 14, Cameron Lewis, out to about the 10-yard line.
Out of the shadow of their own end zone. 7 yards gain on the play for Clairton.
Yeah, Lewis just does not go down. It's the second time we've seen him kind of get a play blown dead with him just not going down to the turf. And that's a bigger target than Rich, who is pretty much just hugging him. Lewis just showing pure heart, not going down on that play. As you said, a big run to get them out of the shadow of their own end zone and kind of open up the playbook a little bit for Clairton.
6 gain of the play, put the Bears out to the 10-yard line. 2nd and 4 now for Clairton. Jones out of the gun. Here comes Jones off the misdirection. He's going to stretch the field to the left side. Jones tries to find room.
Jones on the keeper.
20, comes back to the 25, spins to the 30. At the 35, dragging the
And he's out for a Clairton first down, tackled by number 21, Brandon Lovelace.
So Capone Jones, a big run there. And Clairton gets a first down. And then some, as Capone Jones does on the ground again.
Yeah, and he sold that misdirection and created so much space, spinning off a tackle as well. As Clairton's finding some life running this football, they have that never quit. Doesn't matter if they get first contact or not. Whoever hits them, they're going to try to run through them and keep the play going, fighting for every extra yards. A lot of yards after contact today for the Bears.
Fresh set of downs to the 37-yard line, 27 gained on that run by Capone Jones. Jones out of the gun with 4 receivers, 3 to the right, single wide as Cannon up top. Lewis in the backfield to his quarterback's left. Capone Jones wants to throw. Trying to go deep, looking for Cannon, who's open, but the throw is too far.
Clairton pass is incomplete, intended for number 6, Brooklyn Cannon.
Far side of the field, and Capone Jones had him downfield, but just put a little bit too much behind it.
And that's the matchup Clairton wants. Foley, the junior, against Jones, the speedster, but you have to wonder, again, this is first game for Brooklyn Cannon, and is he on that same page? Is that chemistry there? Is it a little off between him and his quarterback, Capone Jones?
One thing that's definitely there for Brooklyn Cannon is that speed. As you saw him break away from the defensive back there. Pass, fortunately for Leechburg, falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Bears at their own 37. Jones out of the gun, same set. Going to call his own number up the middle. Jones finds room. Jones has another first down across midfield. And in the Leechburg
Jones on the keeper.
The Blue Devils' 47-yard line.
Stopped by Jaden Floyd. That's a Clairton first down.
Clairton getting it done on the ground. They've taken that element of the Leechburg offense away.
And I think what that really does for Clairton, now it's the playbook so opened up, they're lining up with 3-4 wide receivers almost every time, so it's opening up the middle, but they also have to be respectful of the ability of Jones' fire downfield, because he has a big-time awareness and big-time receiver.
Jones going to throw this one, looking deep for Cannon, who goes up and makes the catch. Inside the
Jones' pass is complete to number 6, Brooklyn Cannon.
Flag on the play.
Brought down by Tyler Foley.
That would be a gain of almost 30 on the play.
That is a Clairton first down.
Sideline warning against the Blue Devils, so that's the play.
At the 11.
There'll be no penalty on it. Ball moved all the way down to the 16. Gain of 31.
I'm sorry, the 16.
Clairton knocking the door, trying to make it a 2-score game. On the 16, Bears in the red zone. Here they come. Jones going to call his own number. This time Leechburg ready for it. And they'll make
Keeper by Jones. No gain on the play.
Tyler Foley to step up and make the tackle. Gain of 1 on the keeper by
Second
Jones.
down for the Bears.
Clairton allowing the run game to open up the pass. Now, as we saw the deep try for Brooklyn Cannon before, the pass was too strong. That would have been a touchdown catch if he was able to, Jones was able to hit him there, but able to find him, and a great catch by Cannon, setting the Bears up for this opportunity now.
That Cannon really showing he hasn't missed the beat, missing those first 2 games of the season. You wonder if he's there in that first run, could that have been a different outcome without being a 2-point game.
Lewis gets the call off the left side, cuts back in inside the 10, breaks a tackle, has a first down inside
And
the
off to
5.
number 14, Cameron Lewis.
11 yards gained on the run.
by Lewis. And Clairton will have it first and goal at the Leechburg 4.
First.
Leechburg is going to have way too many guys on the field.
Decision with the substitutions. Might have snapped 13 on the field, too many. They didn't even make it really outside the hashes.
They'll give Clairton a free yard and a half and make it first and goal from the 1.5 instead of from the 3. Bears lead 12-8 after Leechburg scored in the first drive of the game.
That penalty is on the Devils. It will now be first and goal from the 2 for Clairton.
Jones after a shank punt. Good result in Jones punching it in 2 plays later. Now the Bears knocking again. First down and goal at the Leechburg 2. Jones out of the gun. Wade the lead back. Lewis the deep back. Jones gives the Lewis. Ball loose. And I think Leechburg.
There's a fumble on the play. Recovered by Leechburg.
Blue Devils defense comes up with a huge turnover. And it's Braylon Lovelace on the recovery. Leechburg bends but doesn't break and comes away with the fumble. Looked like it was a bad exchange between the quarterback and the running back. And then Lovelace finds that loose football on the 1-yard line. And that's where Leechburg will start.
Back-to-back 12, you got started with an interception on the run, and it ends with a fumble on the run. Leechburg is a bending, not breaking. That's a huge stop there.
Work out of the gun. Here comes Lovelace. He has to get out of the end zone. They're going to push him back.
Lovelace on the carry.
Bears want the safety. I think they'll give him forward progress.
No gain on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
They pushed Lovelace back all night long, so they were all calling for the safety on that one. One surprise was what happens in the next 2 plays.
And no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 from the half-yard line now. Burke out of the gun. Feels pressure. Steps up, fires down the near sideline.
That pass is complete. And it is Logan Klein to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. He's in for the Devils touchdown.
99 yards. The defense gets the turnover, and then 2 plays later.
There's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play. But the Blue Devils coming up with what looks like a 99-yard touchdown pass.
He went up and got that one. It looked like it could have been batted away. He was able to jump up over the corner, snag it down the corner, hit the turf, and it was a foot race to the end zone. And he would not be touched with a screw. He would take it the distance.
Personal foul, roughing the passer against.
Personal fouls against Clairton, and the touchdown will stand.
Touchdown stands. And Leechburg back on top, 14-12. A chance to add to it.
Braylon Lovelace on for the extra point attempt.
Lovelace has kicked 4 PATs this season. Out of the hold of Burke, we'll see again as Leechburg went for the 2 on the previous score. And we get set now for the conversion. We have a delay getting the return set up here. I'm sorry, the conversion set up here. And now we get ready for the try. Burke to hold, Lovelace to kick, perhaps. Burke going to put this one down. Lovelace's kick is blocked.
The extra point is up and blocked. But the score with 5:28 remaining in the half. Devils 14, Clairton 12.
Leechburg back on top. A 99-yard touchdown pass from Thomas Burke to Tyler Foley. Leechburg 14, Clairton 12. We'll take a break and be right back You're watching 2021 WPIAL High School football coverage, and you've got the best seat in the house on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Big play has been the theme so far in this opening half between Clairton and Leechburg. Last one of Eastern Conference opener, and the Blue Devils lead the Bears 14-12 with 5:28 left here in the second quarter. Matt Vandriak, Alex Lyons with you here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. How about that, Alex? 99-yard touchdown pass putting the Blue Devils back on top.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding play by all parts of that Leechburg team. Line held just long enough. Burke held the ball as long as he could. Eventually found his man fully.
Squib kick, loose ball, and out of bounds. Leechburg almost came away with it.
Ball is out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, where Clairton will take over 1st and 10, 30-yard line.
Almost getting the recovery off the bounce as Brady Rollinger couldn't handle that one, but after the penalty, Alex, for roughing the passer call, it allowed Leechburg to kick off from the Clairton 45, and Lovelace just stepped into that and drilled into one of the up men. Hot potato from there, and no one able to recover it, so a break for Clairton. They'll start 1st and 10 at their 30.
He had more time than he thought. He was sliding down to his knees, kind of just batting it out of bounds with his body when he probably could have settled down, picked it up, and been able to get the recovery. But saw the ball, went for it, and just didn't pay off. It almost utter disaster on back-to-back plays for Clairton.
Out of the shotgun now, Capone Jones. Single back to his right, 3 receivers to the left, single wide on the near side. Here's Lawrence Short. Handoff going to go to the deep back, and nothing doing there.
Cameron,
Leechburg ready for
Cameron
it.
Lewis.
And it's Eli
Rich
shutting Cameron
meeting
Lewis
him at
down.
the line of scrimmage.
So Clairton moved the ball all the way to the Leechburg 1-yard
We'll bring
line.
up a second down for Clairton.
Lovelace got the recovery, and then 2 plays later, Thomas Burke, 99 yards to Tyler Foley, and Leechburg back on top.
And Leechburg, they seem like they've found some life once again. Clairton took away and took all the momentum halfway through that first quarter. Now Leechburg.
Pressure coming. Jones tries to elude it, steps away from the first wave, but can't get past the second. As
Jones brought down by Jacob
Ranke.
Ranke.
Teeth a little bit now, and we see Jacob Ranke, the senior defensive lineman, getting Capone Jones, who luckily was able
That'll
to
bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Bears.
and then gets brought down by the second half.
Leechburg was lucky there, Matt. All the way down around the 30-yard line. Not a man within 10 yards was short of the Bears. That could have been an easy 6 for Clairton to get back on top.
3rd and 9 for the Bears. Ball at their 31-yard line. 4:10 on the rolling second quarter clock. Leechburg on top, 14-12. Out of the shotgun. Capone Jones sets the screen, dumps it underneath. He's looking for Cannon, and it falls incomplete. So again,
Pass was intended to Christian Wade, incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th and 9 for Clairton.
What a play by Eli Rich. Read that right away. Saw that they were jailbreaking through, that it kind of got through a little too easy. Instead of going at the quarterback, Capone Jones decided to slide out on the back leg and was right there in perfect position to bat that ball away and force this 4th down punt.
Clairton going to have to kick it
Jones
away.
back to punt for
Jones
Clairton.
duties. Lovelace and Klein await the return.
Klein and Lovelace back for the Devils.
40-yard line. Jones gets it down, minimal pressure, steps up, hits a high right-footed punt, takes a bounce in midfield in favor. The Bears still rolling inside the 40 and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So
Ball's out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, where the Devils will take over 1st and 10 with 3 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in the half.
It's been a one-track offense here tonight, but it's been successful. The passing game, very affluent for the Blue Devils, while the running game has been non-existent.
Yeah, if it's working, don't fix it. Not built right now for the Blue Devils. Clairton looked like they were able to adjust for a couple series there, but Leechburg's found that groove back, passing the football. And, when you thought it'd be a Lovelace or bust almost for this Leechburg offense today. It's been Burke and the wide receivers putting on a show against this Clairton secondary.
From the Blue Devils 37, Leechburg to the offense. High backs this time behind Burke. Lovelace the deep back, he'll get the call. Tries the middle of the field again, and he gets swallowed up by
And off was to Lovelace.
Defensive line. And again, it's the combo of Kanye Hawkins and Keith Mead shutting it down. You take a look out there.
Stopped by
Keith
number
Mead,
55, Owen Null.
Keith Mead taking me back to the early
I'm
2000s.
sorry, Keith Mead.
Pittsburgh Steelers. He's the Casey Hampton of this Clairton Bears defensive front.
Yeah, and he is a load to handle for that front five of the Leechburg offensive line. He's just taken up at least two of those blockers and creating holes for his linemen teammates. They kind of bust through and put all sorts of pressure on Burke, or whether it be Lovelace, whoever has the football.
2nd and 9 now from the 38. Burke to throw. Here comes Hawkins again. Backside pressure. Burke steps away, steps up and throws, and has to throw that one away as the Bears were bringing
Burke's
it.
pass is incomplete.
Again, it was Kanye Hawkins chasing him.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 9.
Tay Davenport running him out of bounds, so 3rd and 9 for the Blue Devils. And Burke makes a smart play there. Just throws it away.
Yeah, his pressure is coming from behind, tries to force him. I think if he cocked that one back to throw, he's going to get stripped away and a possible turnover for Leechburg.
3rd and 9 for the Blue Devils from their own 38-yard line. 2:56 left here in the second quarter. Blue Devils up 14-12. Burke out of the shotgun. Rich joins him in the backfield this time. Twin receivers out to each side. Setting it up, looking for Rich underneath, and broken up neatly by the Bears. Nice job by Sati Davenport.
Pass intended for Rich is incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th and 9 for the Devils.
As soon as they tried to float it in there, Davenport got the hand up to knock it away.
Yeah, it was about the exact same play as we saw on the 3rd down for Clairton. Rich canceled out a pass attempt to Wade. This time it was Davenport taking away that opportunity for Rich. So kind of maybe getting caught the same play too often.
Cameron Lewis back for Clairton,
Leechburg to punt.
along with Brooklyn Cannon.
Logan Klein's going to handle the duties. I'm sorry, that is Lovelace is going to try it. Low snap. Lovelace feeling the heat. He's going to try to pull this one down and run for it. Lovelace trying to stretch the field, looking for the corner, tries to get a block. Lovelace dives.
Lovelace on the keeper, and
they're going to spot him just short.
whoo, out of bounds. Clairton ball.
Lovelace on a broken play turned it up, and Alex, he dove for that marker. Looked like he stepped out about 2 yards short, though.
Yeah, it looked like what it was is once he went through the air and came down, he would have had the first down, but where that right foot stepped out to launch him was on the white boundary line, forcing him being 2 yards short. But that could have been another disaster, a block behind the score, and Lovelace almost ended up picking up the first down.
1st and 10 for the Bears. Ball at the Leechburg 46-yard line, so a good start for Clairton. Out of the shotgun now. Capone Jones, 4 receivers, 3 of those here to the near side. Single back is Lewis. Call going to be fake. It's going to be Jones.
Jones on the keeper.
And Leechburg this time ready for it. And they stack it up. Nice job by the Blue Devils getting in there as Braylon Lovelace makes first contact and gets some help from his teammates.
Yeah, you have a big drive here for Clairton as well. 2:20.
Rich, Lovelace, and Klein on a stop.
And they get the ball to start the second half. They can go for that old 2-for-0 that can be so deadly when you can get up 2 possessions before your opponent gets one and possibly 2 scores before you get one. And Clairton looking to build their first multi-possession lead. And it all starts here with this drive scoring just before time will expire.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the Leechburg 43. Jones out of the gun. Pressure coming. Picked up. Jones going to go deep and too strong again.
Jones's pass is incomplete. Defended by number 81, Tyler Foley.
Time Foley downfield, able to keep up with the receiver.
Intended for Brooklyn Cannon. That'll bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Bears.
He was still behind Foley, kind of threw it out in front, hoping he'd be able to win the foot race, just still too strong. But Capone Jones almost got his chops licked, but a huge block by Lewis to prevent his quarterback from taking a big shot there on 2nd down.
3rd and 8 now for the Bears. Ball at the Leechburg 43 with 1:47 left here in the opening half, and the Blue Devils up by 2. Jones out of the gun again. Cannon the single wide up top. 3 receivers to the right. Lewis the single back to his quarterback's left. Jones looking to throw. Steps up, fires underneath, has a man, catch made for the Bears, first down.
Jones's pass is complete to number 1, Kevin George.
Leechburg 31, gain of 12.
And that'll be a Bears first down at the 30-yard line with 1:40 remaining in the half.
And in the vicinity, as George had to adjust there to make that grab going to the ground to pick up that first down on 3rd and long, as Clairton still a chance to get in the end zone before the half.
Bears have one timeout remaining. We're under 1:20 in a rolling second quarter clock. Wade the lead back, Lewis the deep back. Lewis will get the call following Wade's block. Inside the 25, inside the 20, inside the 15, the 10.
That is number 14, Cameron Lewis in for the Clairton Bear touchdown.
Cuts through the Leechburg defense like a hot knife through butter. Bears strike and take the lead back with 63 seconds left on the second quarter clock.
Yeah, bounces that to the outside, and he was just too slippery and too fast for that Leechburg defense. And he saw a hole, it wasn't big, but he took advantage of it and took it all the way in 4-6 to get Clairton the lead back.
Bears will go for the 2 here. Trying to add to this 18-14 lead. Clairton 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions here tonight. Jones out of the gun. Lewis the single back. Jones going to give to Lewis, follows his lineman into the end zone.
And that is in for the 2-point conversion. Cameron Lewis, the score is now Clairton Bears 20, Leechburg Blue Devils 14.
Clairton leading the Eastern Conference matchup again. It's the Bears 20, Leechburg 14. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching 2021 WPIAL football coverage. You've got the best seat in the house on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Distance on that?
Touchdown run?
Yeah.
Let's see, it's 31. He got 2 on the 29.
That's what I thought.
He got 2 on first down. It was at the 31, so a 29-yard run.
I knew it was like
28 or 29, yeah.
in that range.
Back here in Leechburg. Last 1A Eastern Conference opener for the Blue Devils and the visiting Clairton Bears. Clairton on a 29-yard touchdown run by Cameron Lewis takes the lead 20-14. 1:03 left here in the second quarter. Matt Vandriak, Alex Lyons with you on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And Alex, a big answer late in this opening half for the Bears.
As Clairton gave up that huge 99-yard touchdown after a turnover at the 1. They get the ball back eventually, and they're able to find some life before the half.
Lovelace will pick up the bouncing ball at the 22-yard line, turns the corner, gets out to about
Lovelace on a return for the Devils.
Capone Jones makes the stop for Clairton. Leechburg with 1 timeout to work with, and not bad field position to start with. They'll have it at their own 36. We'll move it back a little bit so the Blue Devils will start at the 34-yard line. .59 seconds left here in the second quarter. Clairton on top. And Leechburg perhaps going to take a shot at getting that lead back. They've been successful through the air here tonight. Burke to throw, sideline catch made by Klein. He's bumped
pass complete to Logan Klein.
After a gain of 7, and the clock stops as well.
Gain of about 6. That'll bring up a 2nd and 4.
Out to the 40. They'll call it 6 gain on the play. 2nd and 4. Clock stops with 55.5 seconds left here in the second quarter. Rich fully to the left, single wide, Klein to the right. Lovelace the back to the left of his quarterback, Burke. Burke out of the gun, rolling to the left side, trying to avoid pressure. Steps up, fires, has a man.
That pass is complete.
And across midfield for Leechburg.
That is number 10, Jaden Floyd on the reception. Good for a Devils first down.
Capone Jones makes the stop, but executed to perfection by the Blue Devils. Big gain, and the clock stops again.
exactly what Leechburg wanted. 2 passing plays, getting you into Clairton territory, still with 48 seconds and a timeout in your pocket, as Leechburg looking to answer in a minute 3 and take the lead into the half.
Ball moved to the Clairton 42-yard line. So a gain of 24 on the play. Burke to throw. Feeling pressure, and he's going to be brought down again by a host of Bears.
For a loss.
And who else? Kanye Hawkins and Tyler Washington Law. The den of angry Bears defenders make the stop.
Yeah, and there was just no
Kanye Hawkins leading the charge for the Bears.
the Clairton Bears just pounced on the Blue Devils.
Tyrese Washington Law also in on the stop.
See if Leechburg decides to do something here. Clock rolling down to 17 seconds. Burke going to throw for it on 2nd and 20. Near sideline catch. Foley makes the grab. Makes a cut at the 40, and he's hit hard at the sideline. Foley is popped.
Pass is
Cameron
complete
Lewis.
to number 81, Tyler Foley.
Foley should have probably gone out of bounds there, Alex, to stop the clock, and definitely wishes he would have as Lewis stepped up and brought the boom.
Yeah, and saying near full is the officiating staff from Randy Walters running a flag there in that hit.
9.5 seconds left.
But the head coach was very animated after his wideouts for a huge shot up high.
3rd and 8 after a gain on the play of 12 out to the Clairton 40. Burke out of the gun. Steps up, firing downfield in traffic, and it's intercepted by the Bears. 3rd turnover.
Pass is
of the half.
intercepted with 4 seconds to go in the half.
Gets the INT and stops the Leechburg drive. Don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the Trib HSSN halftime show sponsored by SA Tire and Export Tire. This week, Don Rebel and Chris Harlan look at the new WPIAL football non-conference scheduling format. Clairton, for the 3rd time in the half, comes away with an interception.
4 turnovers, 3 by Leechburg, as Leechburg was the beneficiary of the turnover bug the last time they played. Now it's Clairton taking over. They prevent Leechburg scoring going into the half, and you might imagine they'll probably just throw one little run play here to Lewis or Jones and run at the half and get the ball to start.
See what the Bears do here. Jones going to throw, stepping up, going deep, looking downfield for Cannon, and incomplete. Nice defense on the
Pass
play.
intended for Lawrence Short is incomplete.
To break it up.
And that'll be the end of the first half.
We've reached the half.
Clairton Bears 20, Leechburg Blue Devils 14.
Clairton 20 and Leechburg 14. We'll take a break and be back to recap your opening half of action. You're watching 2021 WPIAL high school football coverage. You've got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Back here at Veterans Memorial Field in Leechburg, we're at the half Class 1A Eastern Conference opener. Clairton leading Leechburg 20-14. Matt Vandriak, Alex Lyons with you here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And Alex, not the way we've had football through 2021 so far. The change in venue, no fans, no bands, no cheerleaders, but a lot of action between the lines and the Bears and Blue Devils combining for 5 first-half touchdowns.
Yeah, big plays after big plays and costly turnovers at both sides as it all got started with Leechburg marching down the field on their opening possession, capping it off. Burke declined 23 yards out, and in the make PAT. It was a Burke to Foley in the flat. That made it 8-0 with 9:31 remaining in quarter number one. And that's when Clairton bit back on the Blue Devils. Starting at midfield, it was a 47-yard touchdown pass by Brooklyn Cannon in game one of the season for him. That was tipped up into the air around the 20-yard line, well in front of Cannon. Eventually, the ball trickled to him. He was able to grab it, run it in for the score. 2-point conversion was no good. 8-6, Clairton trailed at that moment with 8:35 remaining in quarter number one. And on the ensuing drive by Leechburg, it was a little pass out to Lewis, and pass out attempt to Foley that was picked off by Lewis off the deflection, and then that all led to a Capone Jones 1-yard touchdown run. 12-8, Clairton took the lead, and after a 4-yard punt by Leechburg, it looked like Clairton was in prime real estate to score once again, but they turned it over on downs, and that's when Leechburg went to work. 28-yard pass to Rich got the party started. The quarter ended, going down towards the 1-yard line. On fourth down, it was a turnover interception at the 1-yard line by Clairton short, and that would set up Clairton eventually at the Leechburg 1-yard line, looking to go up by 2 scores, and that's when Lewis and the quarterback Capone Jones had a little miscue on the handoff. Lovelace recovered on the 1, and Leechburg on 2nd down and 10 from the half-yard line. Burke hit Foley for 99 yards. The pass went about 25. Foley went up over the corner to make the grab. Corner fell down, and Foley went the distance. 14-12 at that point as the PAT was blocked. Leechburg back in command, and the 3-and-out by Clairton. And Leechburg attempting to punt the ball back to the Bears. Bad snap. Lovelace tried to run for it, 2 yards short. Set up Clairton 1st down and 10 at the Leechburg 40, and Lewis would run it in from 29 yards out. 2-point conversion by Lewis was good on the run. 20-14 your score at that point. Jones would end the half basically with an interception. One play after that was an incompletion for Clairton, and we stand with a 20-14 lead for the Clairton Bears at the half, looking for their first win of the season, trying to prevent Leechburg from going to 4-0 for the first time in forever. And I think it'd be 2 first times in forever, no matter who wins. Clairton going 3 or Leechburg going 4-0. Both have not happened in a very long time.
Yeah, Leechburg looking to go to 4-0 for the first time since 1981, and couldn't tell you when the last time was that Clairton started a season off 0-3, but we'll take a look around the Eastern Conference and get you some scores whenever we come back here to Veterans Memorial Stadium. But for now, we'll send it back to Trib HSSN headquarters. It's time for your halftime show, brought to you by SA Tire and Export Tire. Don Rebel and Chris Harlan taking a look at the new WPIL football non-conference scheduling format. 20-14, Clairton leads Leechburg at the break. You're watching 2021 WPIL football, and you get the best in the house on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. How long is this one?
9:33.
So about 6 minutes. Millie, you want to jump in whenever we come back and grab the mic again and join us for a little banter. See if I can find some scores from elsewhere here.
Don wearing the Charlotte Hornet shirt in this one.
What?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
So that's a random wear.
Riverview that bad.
I guess they are. So that is 19 guys dressed tonight.
I saw that.
Canevin 13-3 over Springdale at the half. Leechburg already was leading. That's all the scores. That's all we got from the conference.
Yeah, well, it was only 3 games, right?
Yeah.
None of that happened. For a number of years now, you've heard lots and lots of complaints about that. Yeah, schedules are made on a 2-year basis. This is year 2 of this particular cycle. We got it really close last year. I know because of the fact that they started late. Week 9 was moved up to opening week in mid-September. So this is really the first year that we're getting a chance to see it. And as you mentioned again, random cross scheduling. It wasn't first place for this against first place for this. It was just almost like, okay, here are the teams in this conference alphabetically, and we're going to cross them against this team listed alphabetically. It was just so totally random.
Just say, Don was pushed.
There's easy system, but it didn't work. Yeah, you had a lot of matchups where you knew ahead of time this is going to be a stinger. Yep, no doubt. That was the complaint. We heard it over and over from that. They just say, going into Friday night, it wasn't even going to be close. So why make teams play games like that aren't even going to be competitive? Who's that? So Bill was fixed. We'll talk about that. To have that sponsored by Hector Tire and this is we have the tires. Export tires. Commercial tire and Don Rebel, Chris Harlan, halftime show continues talking about the.
How far are you from Mount Pleasant?
45 maybe?
That might be where we're at next week. Southmoreland, Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant's getting shellacked right now.
Are they?
35-0 Latrobe at halftime.
They might not be as good as I thought they were this year.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule next week. I saw that. I mean, where are you at in relation to like Norwin?
That'd be a close one enough. That's like a half hour.
Norwin has somebody next week, and Hempfield has somebody next week.
Seneca and Norwin.
Yeah, I think that might be a possibility there because Norwin's about a half hour from me too.
Yeah, Lebo and Hempfield.
Yeah, so we might end up with one of those. Yeah.
No, those two. I'd be fine with those.
Yeah.
Those are good locations.
Yeah. Norwin's about 30, about 30 for me. Hempfield's probably about 10 minutes up the road. So.
Yeah. My college roommate went to Norwin, so
okay.
We get together. We always just meet at the high school and then going from there.
I used to live in Irwin. I used to literally live like
right.
Norwin was home. Norwin, I could have walked there if I had to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a short walk, but
you could.
I lived 2 lights up 30.
All right.
So I would just turn and cut the back way, and I was there. And Hempfield wasn't far either, but I did a game from Hempfield when I lived in Munhall, and it's not a far shake. All right, so Canterbury's up 13-3 at the half, Jeanette's up 13-0 at the half, so we got those 2 scores from conference. I didn't even see the rankings for 1A this week. I forgot to look for that.
Clairton's 4 and Leechburg's unranked.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to prep while watching football last night, so.
I was going to do prepping last night. That was the plan because I just never got a chance. Like, I normally start earlier in the week and it was just like, oh, you have this today. Oh, you got this tonight. You got this today.
And then we also didn't have anything. We didn't. We had no stats. We had no. Yeah, I mean, he sent us the link from the PG, and Clairton has no offensive stats. They only have touchdowns. That's all they have on there. So, like I said, I mean, I tried to get a hold of Wayne, just didn't get a hold of him. So,
It's just one of those things.
Penn Hills won 14-13. That's our first final.
What time did that game start?
5 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought I set this last week by putting these teams in as my favorites, but it's I still get this whole roll of Pennsylvania scores.
Yeah, Mall.
Yeah. Franklin Regional losing to Fox Chapel.
Oh, wow. I think Fox Chapel's a lot better than people thought they were
I
going
think that Franklin Regional's having a tough time.
Yeah.
Bell Vernon 35-3 over West Mifflin in the second quarter.
I saw that. Yeah, that's
And love it, I had Laurel Highlands losing at the half.
really.
Yeah.
Oh my, Ringgold's been awful this year.
They have not. They've not scored a lot. They beat the crap out of someone bad last week.
Yeah.
But maybe this is a tough non-conference schedule. For the second time in 3 weeks, Central Valley's leading Blackhawk. That one started early too. Stowe Rocks and Avonworth. They moved that game to Avonworth and kicked it off at 6. And Avonworth's hanging with them.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone thinks Stowe Rock is like the top dog, which I think they are, but I think Washington.
In 2A, Washington got a good team. Yeah,
I think
Stowe Rock's got a good team.
Washington's going to be right there with them. I think that'd be the dream.
Tell you what, keep an eye on Ligonier Valley though too. We've already seen them.
I guarantee.
Sarah flying under the radar too. Sarah got some athletes. They got 40 guys on the roster this year.
Oh, yeah, and then you got Faro up there.
Yep, Steel Valley's off to a good start too. I don't think they're in the same level as Sarah and I think Sarah and Ligonier Valley are going to settle that conference. As a matter of fact, I think we end up in Norwin or Hempfield next week. It's going to suck for you, but I bet you're going to get Steel Valley and Ligonier Valley next week. So that's Steel Valley though. For me, that's a home game.
Yeah. And no worse than this.
No, you don't think you're 200 from one. I'll be entirely. Back here at Veterans Memorial Field in Leechburg, we're at the half. Class 1A Eastern Conference opener. Clairton leading Leechburg 20-14 alongside Alex Lyons and Nolan Porterfield. Matt Vandriak with you here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. So, guys, the story of that first half was pretty much big plays, and Nolan will bring you in here to start. Clairton pretty much negated the Leechburg run, but the Blue Devils still found success through the air.
Yeah, and that's been the key for them so far. They've had those big splash plays. We obviously saw the 99-yard touchdown pass that took them back, and they got them back into the game. So that's been the key for them because they've definitely been losing the battle in the line of scrimmage, like Alex said earlier on in the game. They've had a hard time getting the run game going. There's been a lot of pressure on that quarterback. They've had a hard time getting anything going on the ground, but those big splash plays, like I mentioned, have been the key for keeping them in this game until this point.
Talking about, just following up on what you said there, the line play for Clairton has just been tremendous, and it works the other way too. The offensive line is open, holes up for the Bears, and we've seen both Capone Jones and Cameron Lewis find success running up the middle. What does Leechburg got to do differently here in the second half to shut that down?
I think you just got to tighten up. I don't know what to do. I mean, right now you're just seeing how well both of those guys have been able to run up and down the field. So I think the key for them is, forcing them to maybe pass the ball a little bit more because obviously the ground game has been their bread and butter up to this point.
One thing Leechburg's done well, as we talked about, has been the passing game. They've had a couple of big pass plays. The 99-yard touchdown pass from Burke to Foley, the biggest play of the night. One thing I'd like to see a little bit more, I think the Blue Devils got to get Eli Rich involved more offensively.
Yeah, he hasn't really been, had much of an impact up until this point. And right now, I think that'd be a good option to go to right now. You're really down by 6, and he's been available all night. So if they can start getting him some looks, he could be a guy you can look forward to hopefully busting this game open for Leechburg.
Let's talk about one other thing. As history has stated over the years, Clairton has owned this series, and Clairton has owned a lot of teams throughout the past decade. The Bears have been to many championship games and won 8 championships. And since the beginning of 2000, don't make mistakes against Clairton. They'll make you pay for it. Leechburg has made to turn the ball over 3 times tonight and only down by 6. That's a rarity for when you're playing against Clairton.
I think one thing you see, it's where they've done it. Yeah, you're doing it at very inopportune moments. One was at the end of the half. You kind of almost throw that away. But they turned it over at the 1-yard line. Leechburg did it on a 4th down play. So even if that's an incomplete, Clairton had to go the length of the field on that. So it's really been turning it over with giving Clairton a ton of room to still have to move down the field, which is, I think, in a turn to help Leechburg, even though on the one drive they did go 98 yards and just ended up coughing it up at the 1-yard line. But Clairton is a bunch of athletes all around the ball, and eventually if you keep giving them chances, they are going to make you pay in a big way. And this game, again, if Clairton is able to punch that one in from the 1-yard line, could be a completely different story than 20-14.
Well, we talked about what Leechburg may need to do differently, but Nolan, taking a look at Clairton, the Bears need to clean up here in the second half to secure their first W here in 2021.
Well, like I said earlier, I credit them on their ground game so far. I think the game through the air could be tightened up a little bit. You see them take some deep shots downfield, and they haven't connected on a few of them. And I think that could be a case where if you connect on those long passes, you can really put this game out of reach, because you're obviously forcing a lot of turnovers on the defensive end of the ball. So if you can keep up the good play defensively and make those big plays downfield, you can really put this game out of reach. You can keep that winning streak going.
Talking about that deep passing game, and the return of Brooklyn Cannon tonight for the Bears has definitely infused this offense and enhanced the passing attack as well.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely been a big impact here, and hopefully we can continue to see that in the second half. One guy I want to compliment for them on the defensive end of the ball I'm trying to find the name here for Clairton. It was Kanye Hawkins. What a guy he's been so far. He's been absolutely causing so much havoc on that defensive line. He's done a great job for them, and he's been an amazing job just applying all the pressure that he can to Leechburg, and that's the reason why they're able to sustain that 6-point lead.
Yeah, it's been a scrambling kind of night for Thomas Burke, and the main reason has been Kanye Hawkins. If he might as well get him a blue jersey. He spent that much time in the Leechburg backfield in the opening half. Big possession here to start the second half. Clairton going to get the ball first. They're up by 6. Neither team is led by more than one score. Guys, how important is this drive each way to start this third quarter?
I think for Clairton, it's not as important as it is for Leechburg. For Clairton, yeah, you'd love to go up by the 2 scores, but you've dominated the line of scrimmage defensively. You've really kind of dictated the play besides one series and one play. That's about it. It's been your game to dominate, and you've played your game besides a couple of defensive lapses. And for Leechburg, that's a small group. We addressed 20 guys last week. You have a guy like Eli Rich came off the sideline at the half, and you can hear his coach say to him, "Hey, this is all we got. We need you out there. We need you to keep playing." Lovelace, I was reading, he said, "I played every down last year. I'm going to do that again this year unless I get injured." And it's a lot smaller of a team with a lot less weapons. With Clairton, you can hit about 5 wide receivers, and they can take it the distance, or you can hand it off to 2 different backs, and they can go for a huge gain, or your quarterback can do it himself. Really, you have 3 go-to guys for Leechburg, so I think, if Clairton gets this in the end zone here, it could be very devastating for a very tired squad on the Leechburg side of the field.
Nolan, your take on the third quarter drive and how we're going to get this one started here?
Well, I think for Clairton, like Alex said, right now they're in the driver's seat, and if they can get in the end zone here on this first drive, you really have a chance to put this game out of reach. Like he was saying, there's only 20 guys over on the Leechburg side. There's got to be tired bodies over there. If you can get in the end zone here in this first drive, I really like their chances of them walking away today with a W. For Leechburg, on the other hand, you got to get the stop on defense, and you got to get back down to school. Don't give any momentum that you can to Clairton. Just keep the pressure up. We'll see what we can. We'll see if they can sustain some pressure here going into the second half. Should be a second entertaining football game.
Yeah, it's been a good game so far, and Alex, you talked about in the pregame, Clairton has owned this series, and these games haven't been closed. Leechburg off to their best start in 21 years, and just a 6-point game here at the break. And it seems like the aura and the mystique of Clairton coming in here to Leechburg tonight hasn't really intimidated the Blue Devils, because they've been able to hurry the offense up and find their passing game. And as Nolan was talking about, Leechburg's done a nice job of using their bigger receivers against the smaller Clairton defense too.
Yeah, that's been a big thing to look at in this game, and I think one thing you're seeing is Clairton showing, which I think a lot of people realize, hey, we're not an 0-2 team, that's our record based off of who we played. We're much better. Leechburg's are showing they deserve the hype they've been getting for a 3-0 team coming here battling with the Bears.
Last time Clairton was 0-2 was 2019. They won 11 straight and ended up winning the Class 1A championship that year. The last time Leechburg was 4-0, it was 1981. As the clock counts down and we get ready to get the second half of action underway. And the one thing with the game here tonight, guys, is the atmosphere. It's a little bit different here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It's very reminiscent of what it was last year. A lot of empty bleachers here, and just pretty much no noise whatsoever. You don't hear any bands, you don't hear any cheers going on. It's literally just 2 teams duking it out on the football field. We do have a couple of fans standing over on the far side of the football field. We showed them earlier in our broadcast. We'll have to get a second look at them here. If we can get this turn the camera right over there.
Yeah, the Leechburg faithful have lined the alleyway here to the right of Veterans Memorial Field, so making it the best they can here tonight. Of course, this game was supposed to be played at Neil Brown Stadium in Clairton due to safety concerns, the game was moved, brought here to Leechburg. Fans, bands, parents, cheerleaders, everybody else has to stay home. And lucky for you, Trib Live High School Sports Network, you still got the best seat in the house. We've had ourselves a pretty good game here tonight, too. Second half getting underway. The Bears will get the ball to start half number 2. And they'll move right to left to get it started. A couple of scores from around the Eastern Conference. Of course, we mentioned Imani Christian due to illness, flu bug hitting the Saints this week. Down to 12 healthy bodies. They had a forfeit, so Greensburg Central gets the win there. Bishop Canevin Springdale, the other marquee matchup in the conference. The Crusaders led the Dynamos 13-3 at the break. And Jeanette, looking for their first win of 2021, had a 13-0 lead over Riverview at the half as well. Left to right, the Blue Devils will kick it off here to start half number 2. The Bears will move it the opposite way, right to left, as both Lewis and Cannon deep to return. Lovelace to kick it off for Leechburg.
Okay, folks, here we go with the second half. Lovelace teeing it up for the Devils.
Lovelace right foots this one towards the near sideline. Up man going to take it at the 30-yard line. That's
Martin Lawrence on the return.
Shakes him in at the 35, trying to stretch the field. Cuts inside the 40. Flag flies.
There's a flag on the play.
Brought down at the 42-yard line by Leechburg's Eric Guo.
And the one thing here with a team like Clairton, kicking to one of those front.
Jake Cummings on the stop.
Heck of an athlete returning it back the other way.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Penalty is against Clairton.
They called for a blocking foul. So it was out to the 42 on the return. It's going to cost them 10 and move them back to the 32 as the Bears come to the offense to start this second half of action. From 32, the Bears get the drive started. Jones out of the shotgun. Lewis going to get the call to start the half to the right side. Good run, breaks a tackle, first down, cuts back.
Handoff to number 14, Cameron Lewis.
1 man left to beat, and Lewis is going to be scoring.
And that is a Clairton Bear touchdown.
Cameron Lewis on the first play of the second half. 68 yards to the end zone. And Clairton strikes to take a 26-14 lead.
And what a run by Lewis. You've seen his explosiveness off of kickoffs. Now he's shown it out of the backfield. And he just kept shedding tacklers, and eventually got by everybody. But Lovelace was there from behind to try to get one last look at Lewis. But Lewis, too fast, too quick, too shifty. He's in for 6. And Clairton, just like that, puts a huge score in against the Blue Devils to make it a 2-possession game.
First play of the third quarter, Cameron Lewis, 68-yard TD run. Bears to go for 2. Jones with Lewis in the backfield. Single wides to each side, tight end to the left. Jones gives to Lewis, following the block.
Handoff to number 14, Cameron Lewis in for the 2-point conversion.
Cameron Lewis scores.
28 Clairton, 14 Devils.
And Clairton pushes the lead to 14. 23 seconds into this third quarter. It's 28-14 Bears. And we talked about it there at the half. You know, Clairton was in control of this situation, getting the ball first and having the lead. And they didn't just knock at the door. They kicked it in. And the Bears pushed that lead to 14 points.
Yeah, and those can be spark plugs and backbreakers, depending which side of the ball you're on. One play, and all of a sudden you go from down by just 1 possession to down by 14 if you're Leechburg.
So the Blue Devils will have to answer on offense. Cameron Lewis, Clairton's longest run from scrimmage on the season, a 68-yard TD run, and the Bears up 28-14.
Wade teeing it up for the Bears, and Foley deep along with Lovelace for the Devils.
Lovelace and Tyler Foley the return. And now the Clairton sideline waking up. They have a 2-score lead. Lovelace fields
Lovelace from the 8.
Across the 20, out to the 22-yard line. He's brought down. Nice special teams work again by the Bears.
Like Hawley got through there to take down Lovelace. Wade drove him back to around his
Zachary Vicklis on a stop.
off his back foot and kind of had to try to change directions upfield before he even got going.
Keelan Hawley making the stop for Clairton, as you said, then had some help on the cleanup there by Teron Middlebrook. And now the Blue Devils, big drive here. They'll start at their own 22. Clairton's done a nice job of keeping Braylon Lovelace in check here tonight. Out of the shotgun, Rich going to shift from left to right. Burke going to try to call his own number, pushing up the middle. And he's
Burke on the keeper.
3 on first down. Keith Mead on the stop for the Bears.
Keith Mead on a stop for Clairton.
And Leechburg's just trying to find any sort of life on the ground. It's been all through the air, whether it been Lovelace, Rich, or now Burke. Nothing going, no chunk plays on the ground so far for this Leechburg team, who's been kind of known for their running game for the past couple seasons.
Yeah, especially Lovelace coming in with 475 yards rushing. That was third best in the WPIAL coming in tonight. Out of the shotgun, looking to throw. Burke to the near side, finds Rich, makes the catch, and then he gets
Pass is complete to Eli Rich. Kevin George on the stop.
With the perfect stick after the catch.
And that's what Clairton's done very well most of the night. I say most because you've got to...
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Devils.
Very good tacklers after the catch, not allowing too many extra yards besides that 99-yard touchdown pass and the other one, the 23-yard to Klein in the first quarter.
Able to pick up positive yards though on the play. 3rd and 2 for the Blue Devils at their own 31. Trying to get the hard count, and Blue Devils going to get the first down the easy way as Burke's able to get Mead to jump. And once Keith Mead gets moving, Alex Gravity usually prevents it from stopping.
Yeah, Mead has been a force all night and gives up the free first down there, but he times that right. He's in the backfield almost every single play. Leechburg's had no answer for him or Hawkins tonight.
First down out to the 41-yard line. Burke to throw. Backside pressure coming. Burke trying to step up. Gets away from the first man, but can't get away
Burke on
from
the
the second.
keeper, flag on the play. He
Stopped
tripped
as he gets
up
back to
by
the line of
number
scrimmage.
9.
Wade making the stop for Clairton.
Shetty Davenport.
Looks like a holding call against Leechburg though as well.
I think it's on was on Dixon trying to break free to make the tackle. We had the initial hit on the ball.
We got a hold on the Devils.
It's going to cost Leechburg there. Make it 1st and 20 now, back to the 21-yard line. And Clairton, defense now feeding off the momentum of that one-play touchdown drive to start this 3rd quarter. Burke to throw. Feeling the heat, he's going down again.
Burke is hitting the backfield by number 8, Christian Wade.
Blitz dialed up, and Wade delivers, and Clairton continues to make the night very unpleasant for Thomas Burke.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 23 for the Devils.
The way they shift their linebackers and their defensive ends, whether it be Dixon, Middlebrook, Wade, they've all seen time at the middle linebacker position. They've all seen time on the outside with Dixon and Wade there now, and now Middlebrook in the middle.
2nd and 23, back to the 16 now for the Blue Devils. Handoff goes to Lovelace, and he's trying to find room, and Clairton is all over it.
Lovelace on a carry.
Stop for the loss.
Hit for a loss.
As the Bears
And it's
sneak it
number
out.
14, Cameron Lewis, leading the charge for the Bears.
Make the stop for Clairton.
They're ball hungry right now. They're having no issues determining where the ball is, and they are attacking that. No room to work for Leechburg at all here this evening on the ground, as it's been pressure after pressure, whether it be on the quarterback or the running back. Leechburg's really had no time to think offensively.
3rd and a passport here for the Blue Devils. It's 3rd and 31 from the 15. And out of the gun, Burke to throw. Firing across the middle, looks for Rich, makes the catch.
Burke's pass is complete to Eli Rich to the 47-yard line, and the Devils first down.
At the Bears 45 by Capone Jones. But on 3rd and 31, the Blue Devils convert. Eli Rich, first down, Leechburg.
What a play by the big man.
Capone Jones on a stop for the Bears.
Better use him in those situations, and Rich just would not go down until he got that first down. A huge first down on 3rd and forever for Eli Rich and the Blue Devils.
All the way out to the Clairton 46. So Leechburg's converted a 3rd and 20 and now a 3rd and 31 here tonight. Looking to throw. Burke feels pressure. He's going to be dropped again in the backfield. The Bears defense, Keith Mead and Tyrese Washington Law slamming the door on Leechburg again.
Keith Mead and number 52, Tyrese Washington Law on the spot.
It's just no time for Thomas Burke to set up back there. Leechburg had success when they switched to that hurry-up offense and were trying those underneath routes. Talked about at halftime. Would like to see Eli Rich more involved in the offense. He has 2 catches so far here in this 3rd quarter. 5 yards lost on the sack. 2nd and 15 for the Blue Devils from their own 49. Out of the gun. Burke feeling pressure. Gets away from the first man. Now gets a block. Burke going to try to run this one here to the near sideline. Burke hit hard. Ball pops loose.
Burke on the keeper.
And it looks like
he'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
Jaden Floyd falls on it, but it was Cameron Lewis who jarred that ball loose with an open field hit.
Yeah, and Burke, again, was just...
Tyrese Washington Law over there on the stop.
Again, as Hawkins got a hand on him, just was not able to get enough to bring him down, as that was almost another sack for this Clairton front 4.
Gets 3 back on the play. 3rd down and 12 for the Blue Devils from the Clairton 47. Lovelace joining Burke in the backfield. 3 receiver set, twins right. Actually 4 receiver set, 2 to each side. Looking to throw. Burke steps up, fires, and too tall as the comeback.
Burke's pass intended for number 5, Logan Klein, incomplete.
So we'll see what Randy Waters tries
That'll
to
bring
do
up a
from
4th
here.
and about 12 for the Devils.
In Clairton territory.
Timeout, Leechburg.
As they've taken just under 6 minutes off the clock on this drive, so it hasn't been very quick for Leechburg, and they need to find scores quick and often. You see how instantaneous Clairton can score. If they give the ball back here to Clairton, Clairton finds a way to punch it in and eats up around that 6 minutes. If they do decide to punt it away here or Clairton gets the stop, it could almost be game over for Leechburg.
Coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL football scoreboard show presented by Export Tire and Essie Tire. Don Rebel is live from the Excella Health Studios at HSSN World Headquarters, and he has all of the scores and video recaps from Week 3. Don't miss the WPIAL football scoreboard show presented by Export Tire and Essie Tire after the game, only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Already our 4th week of football here in this 2021 season. Leechburg faced with 4th and 12 from the Clairton 46, and out of the timeout, the Blue Devils are going to go for it. Burke out of the gun. Here comes the pressure, and Burke's going down again.
Burke is hitting the backfield by Sandy Davenport.
Devouring Leechburg this evening, as leading the charge there was Sati Davenport. And Clairton
Ron Middlebrook also in on the stop.
And they'll start in Leechburg territory.
And this defense is absolutely hungry for Clairton. It doesn't matter. Davenport, Middlebrook, Wade, Hawkins, they're all getting to the quarterback. They're all getting through, and they're all come from different positions. Hawkins at the end, or Hawkins in the middle. From the linebacking position with Middlebrook, Davenport, Wade, they're all at the end position as well. It's been very impressive the way they switch up their positions and have been so effective dialing up those different blitz packages and getting to the quarterback Burke, as he's had no time to breathe today. As that Clairton front 7 all should be in blue, as you mentioned earlier.
Bears will start 1st and 10 at the Leechburg 43-yard line. 6:07 left in the 3rd, and the Bears up by 2 scores. Capone Jones out of the gun. Here comes Lewis. Actually, it's going to be Wade this time, and he cuts through the defense for a gain of 15.
That handoff and carry by Wade.
28-yard line of Leechburg. And now
Brandon Gilmer on a
this
stop.
defensive and offensive line wearing out Leechburg on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, this is what Clairton football is. Just grind them out. Use Clairton a huge sideline. There's 7 guys in and out both sides of the ball. In Leechburg, it's been every guy playing pretty much both sides the entirety of the game. And that fatigue is really starting to sit in when you don't have those big advantages like we've seen Leechburg have in the past weeks.
1st and 10 for the Bears. Ball at the Leechburg 28-yard line after the 15-yard run by Cameron Lewis, who has had the magic touch here in half number 2. Jones to throw. Steps up. Fires deep. Looks for Cannon. Foley almost comes away with the INT.
Pass from
As the
Jones
Bears
is
looking for the
incomplete.
knockout punch there.
Defended by
And
Tyler
got
Foley.
both hands on it and almost picked that one off.
Yeah, and that wasn't necessarily a bad pass, bad route as well. I mean, Brooklyn Cannon was open. Capone Jones put it where it had to be, but Foley just made a better play reaching up to grab it and get a hand on it.
So the Bears going for the big play there. Good defense by Tyler Foley. Of course, Foley reeling in that 99-yard touchdown reception in the opening half. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Jones out of the gun. Lewis to his left. 4 receivers, 3 of those to the right side. Handoff is actually going to go to, so it's going to be a fake handoff. And this time, Jones almost brought down the backfield, but breaks away.
Jones on the keeper.
Picks up a solid 9 yards. Jones was dead to
Tripped up
right.
by Jaden Floyd.
DeCapity had him, but Jones got away from him before finally Jaden Floyd can make the stop.
Yeah, and that's, again, never going down on the first hit, something we've seen the Clairton runners do all evening. It doesn't matter. First contact is not bringing down a Bear here tonight. And Capone Jones fighting off that pressure and eventually making his way up for a solid gain of 7 instead of a loss of maybe 2 on the play.
3rd and 3 now for the Bears. Ball at the Leechburg 21-yard line. 4:30 left here in this third quarter. Bears up by 14 and looking to add to it. Jones out of the shotgun. Going to swing this pass over to the far side of the field. Incomplete through the hands of his intended target. Looking for Lawrence Short on that one. And had Short made
Pass from Jones is incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th down and 3 for the Bears.
Chest of the shoulder pads, and as that one like slingshotted back out off of Short, but Clairton, obviously an easy decision to go for it on 4th down and 3 here.
Bears have the ball at the Leechburg 21-yard line. Clairton trailed 8-0 and 14-12, but the Bears have hauled off 16 straight and looking to add to it. They scored on the first play of this third quarter on a 68-yard touchdown run by Cameron Lewis. Out of the gun, Jones. Inside handoff goes to Wade. Wade has the first down and then some.
Handoff is to number 8, Christian Wade, and he is in for the Clairton Bear touchdown.
Christian Wade from 21 on 4th and 3, and the Bears push the lead to 34-14. Wade tearing through the Leechburg defense like a twister through a trailer park, and the Bears are up by 20.
One touch is all Wade needs. He's been buying his time all night, blocking, doing the little things right, and now finally gets his turn. He takes to the house for the Clairton touchdown, as Clairton just starting to roll here in half number 2.
Bears are actually going to attempt the kick. So Wade, who has kicked a couple point afters this season, going to try to put this one through the uprights and make this a 21-point lead. Jones the holder. Good snap, good hold. Wade's
Christian Wade's kick is up, and it is good.
Well, 23 unanswered for the
Another
Bears.
football for Hank
4:16
Commodore.
left here in the third quarter. Clairton leads Leechburg by the count of 35-14. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching 2021 WPIAL High School football coverage. You got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Leechburg may need to call Mr. Water Heater because the Clairton Bears are flooding the Blue Devils here in this second half. 4:16 left in the third quarter. It's Clairton 35, Leechburg 14. Matt Vandriak, Alex Lyons with you here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Alex, this game was 14-12 Leechburg in the second quarter. The Bears with three straight scores, but more importantly, their defense really bringing it here tonight.
Yeah, the Clairton front 7 has made the life of that secondary.
Christian Wade teeing up for the Bears.
Had too many chances, it's good. The Bears
Klein and Lovelace deep for the Devils.
all evening long, and this is what Clairton's been looking for and missing all season thus far.
Wade slamming this one on an onside kick attempt. Loose ball on the ground, and we'll see who has it. Clairton saying they got the ball. It was a slow rolling almost squib kicking. It looked like the up men weren't ready for it. And we're going to see where it is. It looks like the Blue Devils, Blue Devils came away with
Devils
it. Eli
recover.
Rich on the recovery. Clairton almost had that one. It's in the vicinity for the Bears with Sincere Lennon.
Clairton's really just trying to put this thing out of hand.
Bears up by 21, and Leechburg needs an answer. We've seen the Blue Devils come up with some quick strikes. They may not have fans in the stands, but the Bears bench bringing the noise now, cheering on their defense. Burke out of the gun. Lovelace to his right. Burke the throw. Steps up, fires, slant pattern behind his intended target. As the Bears
pass intended for Klein is incomplete. Second down, 10 for the Devils.
This time it was Sateed Davenport coming off the right side, forcing Burke to rush that throw.
It does not matter who it is tonight, Matt. It's been whoever they decide to bring in there, they're getting into the backfield. New man checks in for Clairton. You just imagine he has a date with the quarterback and he's going to get there pretty quickly.
Second and 10 for the Blue Devils from their own 41-yard line. The thing we forgot to mention on that onside kick attempt is the Blue Devils actually starting with decent field position on this drive. Burke out of the gun. Deep handoff goes to Lovelace, finds some room. Lovelace to the left, breaks a tackle, cutting it back.
Handoff is to Brandon Lovelace, and he's to the 20, the 10, the 5. He's in for a double touchdown.
Yards to the house. And the Blue Devils need to score. Lovelace coming through his 11th touchdown in 2021, puts Leechburg back in the game.
It was only a matter of time. You can't keep Lovelace down forever, and finally, it wasn't easy. He could have went down multiple times in the backfield, kept bouncing, and eventually found daylight and found pay dirt in a huge moment of the game. Leechburg got a score at a time they needed it the most.
Lovelace coming through on his biggest run of the night, 59-yard touchdown. And now he'll try to add on the point after to make this a two-score game again. Snap down.
Lovelace kick is up, and the extra point is good.
Leechburg needed an answer.
35 Clairton, 20 Leechburg, 21.
Main man for the Blue Devils this season, Braden Lovelace. 59-yard touchdown run, his 11th score this season, and Leechburg back in it. So it's a big score there for the Blue Devils because they were on their way out. And Clairton was looking to put this one away, and Leechburg gets the ball back. Not only do they get the score outs, but they get Lovelace finally involved in the offense.
It looked like Clairton was on the verge of running away with this, and they do still have a pretty sizable advantage, but finally maybe some momentum back for Leechburg. And as you said, maybe the biggest thing, Lovelace finally might have some confidence. You know, it's easy to lose confidence. It used to be kind of easy for him these first couple weeks of the season. Now, really having to work in no ground all of a sudden with one run, 59 yards, maybe he's starting to feel pretty good, and that can help him get going here for this Leechburg offense if they can get a big stop at the Clairton Bears.
Blue Devils to kick it off now, and Lovelace will handle the kicking duties as well. Cannon, Lewis, back deep for the Bears at the 25, awaiting the return.
Lovelace teeing it up for the Devils. Lewis and Cannon deep.
And Lovelace going to kick this one bouncing to the near sideline. Lewis will scoop it up at the 24. Lewis trying to stretch the field, goes to the far side, cuts back to the 35. Flag flies as Lewis turns the corner. Lewis down the far sideline with one man left to beat. He's going to be wrestled down at the 30-yard line.
Cameron Lewis on the return, brought down by Lovelace. There's a flag on the play.
Good return for the Bears, but a flag back in Clairton territory. Love's going to nullify the return.
Bears Clairton most likely start around their own 30-25-yard line, but Lewis is so dangerous, and I think that's part of the reason you've seen them try to keep it away from him all evening long, and that was a point where the ball started rolling.
We got a block in the back against Clairton.
Let it go, and then Lewis got it and went for a long way, but it's helped by a block in the back, forcing this penalty on Clairton.
So a break for the Blue Devils will push the Bears back to their own. Push it all the way back inside the 30-yard line. So a big break here for Leechburg because Clairton on the return would have had it at the Leechburg 30. flag flew at the 40 and then the spot foul from there, so all pushed back to the 27-yard line, and that's where the Bears will start. One note, Foley's still on the sideline trying to work out an ankle issue. Not out there on defense for the Blue Devils right now. That's going to bring freshman Jake Cummings in, a quarterback here on the near side. Pass going to the other side through the hands.
Pass is intended for Brooklyn Cannon, incomplete. Second down and 10 for the Bears.
Looking for the run before he had the catch.
Yeah, and it's been, Cannon's been very emotional, whether he's been missed or not dropping passes. You know, he's wearing his emotions right on his sleeves. He's kind of, besides that huge start early on with the deflected touchdown catch, it's been a rough night for Brooklyn Cannon in his return.
Second and 10 now for the Bears from their own 28-yard line. 3:41 left here in the third quarter. Leechburg ending a 23-point streak for the Bears by getting that touchdown there on the 59-yard run by Lovelace, cutting this to a 14-point game. Inside handoff, it's Wade, and he's bullying his way across the 35, taking defenders with him. And Wade
off to Lewis.
Clairton first down.
He's out near. That's a first down for the Bears.
It is a first down. Finally, wrestling Wade down was Jake Cummings. Clairton gets 10. Still using that run game. And it's a little bit of a change of pace here in the second half, Alex. After Lewis broke off that big touchdown run, we see the thunder to Lewis's lightning out there now in Christian Wade.
Yeah, and Wade's been just powering his way through. He has the touchdown. There's another big run there for a first down.
It's going to be a fake this time. Jones calls his own number off the fake, has a first down and then some. Capone Jones down the far sideline, tracked down.
Capone Jones on the quarterback keeper down to about the 7-yard line.
Running game.
Logan Klein ran him out of bounds.
And a huge run all the way down to the 7. Big gain for the Bears.
Capone Jones coming up, or not getting up, in a bit of pain after that one, but his wide receiver drug him off the white paint, so like thinking maybe keep the game going. As maybe him doing that, you're thinking it might just be a cramp or nothing too serious with your wideout and George kind of dragging Jones out of the field of play.
Injury time out on the field. We'll take a break as well. 3:06 left here in the third quarter. Clairton will have it first and goal when we come back. It's the Bears 35, the Blue Devils 21. You're watching 2021 WPIAL High School football coverage. You got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Back here in Leechburg, Clairton will have it first and goal at the Leechburg 10-yard line after the run by Capone Jones. .49 on the run. My math is correct, and it's usually not. That's why I was a journalism major, but I think I counted that one right. Jones was shaken up on the play. Looks like he's able to get back in there, though. Out of the gun, and here we go to the left side, trying to find some room, turning the corner. It's Cannon, and he's knocked out at the 2-yard line. Good hit by Lovelace.
Jones on a keeper down to about the 4-yard line, ran out of bounds by Lovelace.
Jones being attended to on the sideline after that big run, and we see Brooklyn Cannon come in and take a snap.
Yeah, I think what it was is that Jones had to stay off there because he went down onto the field of play, was not allowed back on for that. So you got your speedy skill maker in Cannon. Hey, let's just get the ball in his hands and see what he can do. Is a chance for Cannon to get in for 6, but stopped about 2 yards short of the play. Maybe 3.
Yeah, they're going to mark him out at the 3, so a gain of 7 on the run by Cannon, and now Capone Jones back into the game. Clairton knocking on the door. Second and goal at the Leechburg 3. Jones, the quarterback. Wade, the running back, to his right. Jones going to call his own number. Cuts it back inside.
And that's number 3,
Bears.
Capone Jones, in for the Clairton Bear
3
touchdown.
yards out, and the Bears increase the lead again to 20 as Jones finds the end zone yet again, and the Bears up by 3 scores.
Capone Jones following his lead blocker of Christian Wade. Bounced it a little back and then cut up through the defense into the end zone. He went and back up by 20, looking to go to 21 are the Clairton Bears.
Wade on for the PAT. Kick is up, and that kick is
The extra
good.
point by Christian Wade is up and good. 42 Clairton, 21 Leechburg.
Pushing the lead back to 21. It's the Bears 42, the Blue Devils 21 with 2:40 left here in the third quarter. You're watching WPIAL Football 2021. You've got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Clairton 42, Leechburg 21 with 2:40 left here in the third quarter. The Bears strike again. Capone Jones a 3-yard touchdown run. Alongside Alex Lyons, Matt Bandriak with you on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And Alex, this Clairton rushing attack just shredding Leechburg here in this third quarter.
Yeah, and it does not matter who it is, whether it be Wade, Lewis, Jones, or even Cannon for one run. They've had no answer for this Clairton rushing attack.
Wade going to drive this one deep. Lovelace going to watch it go out of bounds, so that'll be a procedure call against the Bears. And we'll give Leechburg the ball at the 35-yard line. And you hear, if you could, there, I think Randy Waters wants a re-kick.
Maybe give a chance to this star running back to get free. We've already seen him get free once in this contest.
So the re-kick with the 5-yard penalty. Bears will do it again. We've seen Wade often tonight try the line drive or the squib kick. That was the first time we saw him put it deep, and Lovelace just watched it roll out of bounds. Here come the Bears again. Time kicking off from their 35. Wade into it, and he's going to drive this one deep. Lovelace will take it.
This will be Lovelace from the 18.
It's across the 30, across the 35, across the 40. Bounces off a hit. Across the 45.
Lovelace out for about the 40, still in the speed inside the 40 to the 35. Ran out of bounds by number 11, Cameron Middlebrook.
As you see Lovelace there, showing his skill. And one of the Bears trying for that big open field hit, and Lovelace bounces off him and then turns it up for more.
Yeah, Lovelace bounced back 5 to pick up an extra 25 and appeared there. That was a huge return, and that's why you re-kick Randy Walters and give your team a chance at this short field trying to get back down by 2.
At the Clairton 35, good starter for the Blue Devils. Out of the shotgun. Burke to throw, has a little bit of time. Now he's going to be chased. Burke almost loses his jersey, spins away from several tacklers.
Burke going to keep her.
Brings him down for the loss.
In the backfield by number 55, Keith Mead.
Let's see who it was for the Bears there. I think it was Wade who had the jersey, and Burke was able to get away from him and then get away from Hawkins before Mead, the big guy, brings him down.
Hawkins going to go off here, and if that right arm kind of just looks to be hanging a little bit on the Hawkins back towards the body, or maybe something to watch with him coming off it. He's going to stay.
Hawkins is going to force receivers Lovelace shifting from right to left. Burke to throw, tries to step up, he's buried again. Clairton.
Burke hit out of bounds by number 71, Chris Underwood.
The Fury, the man who came in for Hawkins, takes over right where number 54 left off.
And it does not matter who comes in. And Clairton has blocked real estate and started to build property in that Leechburg backfield.
Indeed. It was Monopoly. They didn't just set up a house, they got the hotel. 3rd and 15, back now at the 48-yard line. Big play here for the Blue Devils. Burke out of the gun, Lovelace to his right. 2 receivers to each side, and a pre-snap foul here.
False start on the Devils.
False start against Leechburg going to cost them 5, so good start for Leechburg on this drive too, Alex. They had it on the 35-yard line after the kick return by Lovelace, but this Bears defensive front got a lot to handle tonight. 3rd and 20 now for the Blue Devils, all the way back at the Leechburg 47. Under a minute left here in the 3rd quarter. Bears up by 21. Looking to throw. Burke has a little bit of time. Steps up, fires, has a man through the hands of Logan Klein.
Pass intended for Logan Klein is incomplete.
Same situation we saw on the opposite side for Cannon from Clairton in the previous drive. Klein was looking to rack up the yak before he actually had the catch.
Yeah, he had his eyes focused downfield. I think part of that is Klein's already taken a huge hit right after making contact. So
Lovelace back to punt for the Devils.
Make sure he doesn't get absolutely walloped again by the defensive secondary of the Bears.
Lovelace the punt.
Lewis and Cannon deep for Clairton.
Win snap at his 35, stepping up, right footing a great kick here to the near sideline, and it's going to go out of bounds. We'll see where the officials mark it out at, probably near the 30-yard line. And the Bears will get it back with just under 44 seconds left here in this 3rd quarter. And they do mark it at the 30. So it ends up being a net of just 23 on the punt. It looked like Lovelace got more leg into it, but as the angle came to the sideline, the ball sailed out of bounds. And the Bears come back to the offense again. Leechburg, if they have any chance of getting back into this one, has to get a stop on this drive.
Yeah, they had multiple pick sixes last week. Would be perfect time for another one if you want to get back in this one. As you feel like another score for Clairton might be all she wrote here from Leechburg.
Bears with the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 30. Out of the shotgun. Bone Jones going to shift Wade to the right, Lewis the deep back, and a flag on the play. The Bears going to be penalized 5 there.
As a false start on Clairton.
They'll give Leechburg a bit of a
5-yard penalty, 1st and 15.
Now on the sideline here for the Blue Devils. Foley still stretching out that left leg, so takes away one of their starting defensive backs, but also it takes the wrinkle that Foley has been out of the Leechburg offense as well. And also, Hawkins still not in for the Bears. Underwood remains in at left tackle. Jones going to fake the handoff. And Leechburg ready for it. Good defense by the Blue Devils. As into the backfield for Leechburg with both Jaden Floyd and Jacob Ranke. Bears will have to run one more here before this 3rd quarter ends.
And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. 42 Clairton, 21 Leechburg.
3 chapters written here at Veterans Memorial Field. One more still to be told. Your score after 3, it's Clairton 42, Leechburg 21. We'll take a break and be back with your 4th quarter of action. You're watching 2021 WPIAL High School Football. You've got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. First quarter, even for that matter. Back here in Leechburg, Getting the fourth quarter underway. Clairton leading the Blue Devils 42-21. Matt Vandriak, Alex Lyons with you here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And Leechburg faced with a 2nd and 15. I'm sorry, Clairton has faced the 2nd and 15 at their own 25-yard line. As the team switch sides, left to right, the Bears will move to start this fourth quarter of play. Quick pass to the left side, that's Cannon. Makes the catch, blocker in front of him, shakes and bakes, and he picks up about 13.
Jones pass is complete.
Short of the first down, tackle made on the far side of the field there.
Bring up a 3rd down and
Leechburg's
2.
Gilmer. Third and 2 now for the Bears. Out to the 38-yard line of the Blue Devils. Jones, hard count, trying to get the Blue Devils to jump. And to put the ball in the running back's belly, and Leechburg ready for it. As they get the stop, Jacob Ranke again getting penetration with Eli Lewis. And they render the play obsolete.
Stopped by DeCapity and Rinke.
Loss of 2 on the play. 4th and 4 now for the Blue Devils. Sorry, for the Bears, that is. At their own 37.
4th down and 4 for Clairton.
Looks like Clairton's going to kick this one away.
Jones back to punt. Klein and Lovelace back for the Devils.
Has finally come to life here for Clairton. 22 points in that third quarter alone. And in this contest, they've surpassed their combined point total for the entire season of their first 2 games.
I think Clairton is going to be called with delay of game, so that'll make this a little bit longer and perhaps give Leechburg a better opportunity here on the return. Leechburg coming into tonight, the highest scoring team in the WPIL, averaging 54 points per game. They're giving up 14.7 points against, as Jones gets this kickoff with some pressure, takes a Clairton bounce inside the 45 and out of bounds at the 44. Blue Devils will get good field position.
Ball's out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, where the Devils will take over 1st and 10.
Hurry up
10 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the contest.
They need that hurry-up offense and those quick, big pass plays that we saw them be so successful with early on if they want a chance to come back into this one. They need to score, they need to score quick, and they need to score often.
Foley still on the sideline for the Blue Devils. And here comes Leechburg to the line. Burke out of the gun, 4 receivers, 3 to the left. Burke looking to come this way underneath, has a man, catch made, and almost
pass is complete to number 10, Jaden Floyd.
Inside slant. Wade cuts him down as T. Davenport was looking to.
That is the Devils' first down.
That's going to be enough for the Leechburg first down, so all the way out to the Clairton 45. That's what worked for the Blue Devils in the first half, those quick strikes. Burke the throw again. Feels pressure, fires to the near sideline, too tall.
Incomplete, intended for Logan Klein.
Bringing the heat. And Burke drilled as he released it by Christian Wade.
Yeah, it's been all night, and Burke's had some open targets as well, but
2nd down and 10.
He doesn't really hit them too often, and when he does have the time, he's made Clairton pay defensively. The thing is, the time's just not been there for Christian Burke.
2nd and 10 now from the Clairton 45. Burke out of the gun, 3 receivers bunched to the left. Burke looking to come this way. Has a man's coming back and unable to hang on for it. There is Logan Klein.
Pass intended for Logan Klein, incomplete.
Behind his intended target there.
3rd down and 10 for the Devils.
Third and 10 for Leechburg. 9:40 left here in the fourth quarter. Bears up by 21 after scoring 22 points in that third quarter. Inside pass, catch made, and just
that pass is complete to number 5, Logan Klein.
Stop made by Clairton's Lawrence Short. Talking about Logan Klein.
Going to bring up a 4th down and about 2.
them 2 yards short, so 4th and 2 coming up for the Blue Devils. Short out of the gun. Loses the football. Still on the ground. Clairton comes away with it.
There's a fumble on the play picked up by number 14, Cameron Lewis.
Cutting it back. Lovelace tracks him down inside the 5.
Brought down at the 4-yard line by Braylon Lovelace.
The 4th turnover of the night, and Lewis almost took it the distance.
And that ball just kept pinballing, rattling, and ricocheted back about 15 yards, and finally wound up in the arms of Lewis in open space, and Lovelace showing off the speed to track him down. He almost did that earlier in the game on that big touchdown run by Lewis. This time he does get the electric wide out running back athlete for this Clairton Bears team before he can take it in for another 6.
40 yards on the return. Sets the Bears up 1st and goal at the Leechburg 2. And Leechburg, as mentioned, turnovers not helping the Blue Devils' cause here tonight. You can't make those kinds of mistakes against Clairton. Jones out of the gun. Hand off, and it's red. Lovelace into the backfield, swallows Lewis for the loss.
Capone Jones on the keeper, in for the Clairton touchdown.
For Jones, so he fooled everybody, including me. Capone Jones finds the end zone, and the Bears with 8:41 left here in the 4th quarter, telling the fat lady to put the hot dog down and start singing. They take the lead 48-21.
Yeah, Jones did his great hide and seek with the football there. Everyone
worked on me.
I thought so too, and then I saw Jones go over to the official. I think Jones and the official may have been the only two knowing he had the football there as he increases this Bears lead.
Thought Lovelace made another great defensive play, but not the case, as Clairton will go for the PAT. Wade on, out of the hold of Capone Jones. High snap. Jones pulls it down, and it's the jailbreak. Jones going to throw to the back of the end zone, and it's Lovelace going up and taking the conversion try
Extra
away.
point attempt is no good.
The Bears
48 Clairton, 21 Devils.
With 8:41 left here in the 4th quarter. Clairton 8:41 away from win number 1 here in 2021 and trying to open this Eastern Conference schedule with success as well. Take a break and we'll be right back. You're watching 2021 WPIAL High School Football. You've got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Back here at Leechburg, the Bears score again. Capone Jones, 2-yard touchdown run, capping off the 40-yard fumble recovery and return by Cameron Lewis. And Leechburg down 27 now against Clairton. And Alex, with everything that's gone on this week, first the announcement being made that the game would be held without
again
fans,
teeing up for
and then
Clairton.
decided yesterday that the venue was going to be changed and brought
Fine and Lovelace deep for Leechburg.
Back-to-back losses. Clairton has not let distractions or anything else get in their way, and the Bears rolling here tonight.
The Bears have got back to the basics of what makes Clairton a good football team. They've done the little things right, and that's why they have this huge lead.
Bouncing ball, Rich trying to field it, scoops it up at the 28, gets across the 35.
Eli Rich on the return out to about the 37-yard line.
37. Hit made by Christian
Wade on the stop.
Also Keelan Hawley in there for the Bears.
Martin Lawrence also in on the tackle.
So for Leechburg now, it's maybe a matter of trying to draw some momentum and some positives as Leechburg will taste defeat here for the first time in 2021.
The thing is, if you're Leechburg, you're going to get that first loss of the season, but you look at this, at the half, 2014, you're right here in this. You were leading this game in quarter number 2. You're a good football team, but Clairton just, I think, too many bodies versus the slim numbers on the Leechburg sideline.
Lovelace trying to find room. He finds nothing but orange and black. Clairton stuffs it again.
Lovelace on a carry, no gain on the play.
Making the stop. Lovelace tried to fight the law, and the law won.
I think this is the most dominant performance by a front four.
Tyrese Washington Law, the first one there for the Bears.
Linebackers that I've seen all season long thus far by whoever it is, whether it be the men they decide to put at linebacker or D-end, they've been getting to the back, and they rotate every single position of those front four and the two middle linebackers. It's been very impressive as Leechburg had no answer.
And for the last few drives, for most of the fourth quarter, Clairton's been without Kanye Hawkins as well. It was a force on the defensive line this evening. Burke to throw. Firing across the middle and nearly intercepted. Too
Pass is
strong.
incomplete, intended for Eli Rich.
And Capone Jones almost came up with the pick at midfield.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 12.
Interception number 2 of the game for Jones there, but again, pressure was coming from all sides once again in Burke.
3rd and 11 coming up for the Blue Devils back at the Leechburg 34. Maybe one to grow on here for the Blue Devils tonight. Out of the shotgun here. Burke. Lovelace to his right, 2 receivers to each side. Clairton brings the blitz, trying the screen. Klein makes the catch back at the 30, and he's tackled almost immediately.
Pass is complete
by
to
the
Klein.
Bears defense.
Tackled by Brooklyn Cannon.
It's Cannon with the open field stop, 4th and long coming up for the Blue Devils.
Cannon just showing off his athleticism there. As soon as Klein got it again, the Bears were ready to pounce on that and stop him for it. No gain on the play.
4th down and 13. Braylon Lovelace on the punt for the Devils.
4th down and long, but all in.
Clairton, impressive here in their Eastern Conference.
Cannon and
The Bears off.
Lewis deep for Clairton.
Clicking on all cylinders without Greg Lee tonight too. Lovelace kicking this one away. Great punt. Bouncing at the 35, and the return man going to walk away from it. He'll touch it down to 30. It'll be blown to the 30.
I think Lewis regretted calling for the
He
fair
did. That's right. He called for the
catch
fair
there.
catch, yeah. And then as he decided to field it, that was blown dead. So Clairton will start at their own 30-yard line. But regardless, it was a high kick by Lovelace, and could have lost in the lights. I think playing it safe there is the way for the Bears to go here. They look to run this one out.
The thing is, you don't need any more points for Clairton, so better to play it safe than sorry there if you're Lewis.
And the Bears just 650 away from getting the W here tonight. It's Clairton, after the tough start to the season, finding their stride here in this Eastern Conference opener. Handoff goes to Wade to the left side, and he's going to be brought down.
Wade on the carry.
Tackled by Colin Cook for Leechburg.
Stopped by Lovelace.
So it was Lovelace on the stop.
2nd down and 12.
So Lovelace, true to his word, Alex, he's trying to play every snap. Still in here with the 27-point deficit.
I think it's just such a big hole if you take him out, who you put in that middle linebacker position.
Lovelace just a junior, and garnered a little bit of interest from a couple of Mid-American Conference schools. As Jones going to call his own number here on 2nd and 12, trying to stretch the field, lowers his shoulder, and he's bumped out of bounds.
Capone Jones on the keeper.
By Leechburg's Jake Cummings.
I think anybody that has a 392-yard rushing, 4 touchdowns.
Jake Cummings on the stop.
It's going to draw some interest from somebody around there. That's what Lovelace had last year. And
Eric Learn also in on the stop.
it's just one of the more impressive performances you're ever going to see here.
Lovelace, as mentioned, had 475 coming into tonight. He was the 3rd leading rusher in the WPIL. Held in check for most of the night by the Bears. Did break off that 59-yard run for score in the 3rd quarter. Other than that, Clairton's front 7 really has taken away the run game for Leechburg tonight. 3rd and 10 for the Bears. Jones to throw. Fires high to the far side. Too tall for Cannon. And on 4th and 10, looks like Clairton's going to have to give it back.
Yeah, as Clairton just kind of tried to break one with the run the clock on those first 2 plays, nothing going. Try to get something with the pass, maybe convert a 1st down and almost run the clock out. Just unable to, too high for Brooklyn Cannon. And as you mentioned, going to have to punt it back to the Blue Devils with 5:17 remaining in the contest. Leechburg again just waiting for the clock to hit triple zeros and take
Jones on the punt for the Bears. Lovelace and Klein deep for the Devils.
Lovelace and Klein await the return at the 40-yard line. Jones to kick from about the 20 as he steps up. And right foot's a great end-over-end kick. Lovelace calls for the fair catch, juggles, but makes
Fair caught by Lovelace at the 40, where the Devils will take over 1st and 10 with 5:11 remaining in the game.
5-11 for making it 27-0-1 against Leechburg. And it's a Clairton team that's made the title game 12 times in the last 17 years. They're a force to be reckoned with once again, possibly this season, once they're getting back into this single-A play, flexing their muscles against Leechburg here tonight.
We mentioned the last time Clairton was 0-2, or started the season 0-2, was 2019. The Bears wanted to win their next 11 and the Class 1A championship that year. Rich motioning. Lovelace going to get the call to the right and gets back. Maybe
Lovelace on the carry.
As we see, Nashir Levin.
First hit by Tevin George.
Clairton has the 8th longest streak in the WPIL of playoff qualifications, 15 years. In those 15 years, it's either been semis or WPIL championship appearance in every single one.
2nd and 10. Burke trying to call his own number, gets across the 45, and he gets blasted.
Burke on a keeper. There's a flag on the play.
Lewis, and he hammers him, a flag on the play as well.
Personal foul on Clairton.
Personal foul against Clairton, I guess, for the tackle.
Hardly called away. It was all body, I thought, on the tackle.
Yeah, that was shoulder to back, shoulder to shoulder. Almost a makeup call for the one in the first half that didn't get called.
I wonder if it was almost a sound based off the sound you heard. As it was, you can hear like the bone rattling.
Yeah, the cracking the pads, but either way, a break for Leechburg. They'll get the 15 added onto it. 1st and 10 from the Clairton 40. Work out of the gun. Clairton showing blitz. Picked up. Stepping up is Berg, trying to fire deep down the far sideline. And too strong on the toss, looking for Logan Klein.
Pass intended for Logan Klein is incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for the Devils.
4:13 left here in this 4th quarter. Bears up 48-21. 22-point outburst by Clairton. 3rd quarter, the difference in this one. Work to throw, feels pressure, fires, has a man, catch man on the near sideline, and down to the 32-yard line. For
Pass is complete to Jake Cummings.
Wrestled down by Sati Davenport. After a gain of about 8, it'll be 3rd and...
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
3rd and 2, they're going to call it, at the 32-yard line. Leechburg impressive in wins over Jefferson, Morgan, Summit Academy, and then Brentwood here last week. Clairton a different animal though altogether. 3rd and 2 from the 32. Burke trying to call his own number, and he fights forward.
Burke on a keeper, tackled by number 64, Sincere Linen.
For the Bears.
That is a Devils 1st down with 3:27 remaining.
And a fresh set of downs for the Blue Devils. We're down to 3:20 left here in this 4th quarter. Out of the gun. Handoff going to come to Lovelace to the right side. Lovelace picks up a solid 5.
Lovelace on the carry.
By Brooklyn Cannon for the Bears. After a gain of about 5.
Looks like number 6, Brooklyn Cannon on the stop.
Give him 6. 2nd and 4. Down to the 24-yard line. Burke out of the gun. Trying to call his own number to the right side. Finds room. And
Burke on the keeper.
All the way down to the 15, so a gain of 9. And the Blue Devils in the red zone. 2:25 left here in this 4th quarter, trying to get one back before this one's said and done tonight. Work On 1st and 10, hands off to Lovelace, and Clairton ready for it. And they'll make the
Lovelace
stop.
on a carry, stopped by
Minimal gain.
Nasir Levette.
By the Bears. Nasir Levette on the stop. We have 2 minutes left here now in this fourth quarter. Don't forget, coming up after the game,
We got a timeout, Devils, with 1:59 remaining in the contest.
Export Tire and Essie Tire.
I know there's some Clairton fans over there. How about making a little bit of noise for your team over here?
Road headquarters, as he has all the scores and video.
And I definitely know who the Leechburg fans are, so how about making some noise for your team tonight?
Show presented by Export Tire and Essie Tire.
Good hard-played football game, both teams.
High School Sports Network. And you hear the PA announcer giving a shout out here to the fans who showed up, even though they have to watch from outside the premises. The Leechburg faithful lined up in the end zone to our right, and see the Clairton faithful, handful of the Bears fans making the trip as well to watching the words of Bette Midler from a distance. $1:59 left here in the fourth quarter. Out of the timeout, Leechburg back at it here. Second and 9. Blue Devils at the 15-yard line. Burke to throw. Feels pressure. Steps up, fires. Rich comes across.
Complete to Eli Rich.
Breaks the tackle. Lowers
And
the
he
shoulder.
blows his way in for the Devils touchdown. One more time.
15. And on that play, he was half man and half amazing as Rich bulldozes the Bear defenders on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, he absolutely a wrecking ball coming through, just throwing his weight around and throwing his way into the end zone for a garbage time touchdown for the Blue Devils.
Lawrence Short was the man who took the stiff arm, and then Cameron Lewis, pinball score. 2-point try, and that was a play that was just Rich getting the call and getting buried in the backfield, but a whistle before it. So Rich's efforts for naught as Chris Underwood slamming Rich in the backfield. Clairton a couple of years ago started their 2019 campaign off 0-2. They had lost to Aliquippa and McGuffey. Touch on that in a minute. Burke fires for 2 and incomplete off the hands of Rich.
The extra point attempts are no good.
Blue Devils deficit
With 1:48 remaining in the contest, Devils 48, Bears 27.
Bears lost to a good McGuffey team and also to Aliquippa, who was a 3A powerhouse, obviously. Then opened up conference play on the road at Greensburg Central Catholic against a GCC team that, much like Leechburg, had just missed the playoffs the previous season, were undefeated coming into that game. The Bears hung on for a 21-14 win that night. But tonight, Alex, no doubt, Gwen Stefani not needed, it's been all Bears.
Clairton showing that they are and were deserving of that initial preseason number 1. And there's a reason they're still sitting at number 4 in the 1A rankings by Trib, is because this is what they can do. They just haven't had the chance to prove it against teams of their size and caliber. They're playing a heck of a Washington team that could have their hat in the rings in the 2A championship talk with Stowe Rocks.
Lovelace to kick for the Devils.
But, they're showing, hey,
Lewis and Cannon deep for Clairton.
this is good, if not way better and way more athletic.
Lovelace driving a line drive kick off one of the up men. Lewis trying to find him at the 30, and he's going to get across the 35 before getting tripped
Lewis
up
on a return, tripped up
Leechburg's Eric Learn.
by Eric Lowe.
So the Bears a couple of plays from getting in the victory column here for the first time in 2021, and now that the non-conference portion of the schedule is over for Clairton, it is all Eastern Conference the rest of the way for both of these schools. And as you mentioned, now that the Bears are back playing on a single A level, that's something I talked to Wayne Wade a couple of years ago about. And he said, he likes taking on tougher competition because he feels it gets his team ready when they step into conference play. And Clairton, while losses are not the norm, As you mentioned, losing to a good Washington team and an undefeated Steel Valley team. Those teams were 5-0 combined coming into this week. Bears ready for the challenge here tonight, but getting Brooklyn Cannon back definitely helped the cause.
Yeah, it's just one more thing that you have to worry about if you are an opponent of the Bears. I mean, they have so many athletes, so many different ways they can beat you, and then you just add another one back as victory formation out here on the field.
Bears will run it off and wrap it up. So Clairton with the victory.
Bone Jones takes a knee. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 1:30 and counting.
More importantly, 1-0 in Eastern Conference play. Leechburg tastes defeat for the first time in 2K21. The Blue Devils fall to 3-1 overall. But 0-1 in Eastern Conference play. We mentioned that Greensburg Central Catholic getting a forfeit win over Imani Christian, who do not have enough healthy bodies to get out here tonight. Or get a field team that is for tonight. And
Jones will take a knee again. It'll be
around the Eastern Conference, if we have some, Springdale and Bishop Canavan.
3rd down and 10 for Clairton.
And last report in the 4th quarter, I think this won't be over by now. Bishop Canavan had a 13-10 lead over Springdale at last check. The other game tonight was Jeanette and Riverview. And checking that one out. Jeanette gets their first win of 2020.
And Jones will down the ball for the final play of the game. Clairton fans, let's hear it for your team. Leechburg fans, let's hear it for the Devils. It's always fun to be here on Friday night. Have a safe trip back, Clairton fans.
1A championship appearance teams get their first wins of 2021 as Clairton did it here in dominating fashion against Leechburg.
Final score from Veterans Memorial Field, the Bears 48, the Blue Devils 27. We'll take a break and be back to recap it and wrap it up. You're watching 2021 WPIAL high school football coverage. You've got the best seat in the house here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.